You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. bad. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the South Asia Elite Community Series here at Fragnation, hosted alongside Ubisoft. Of course, I'm your host, Blackjack, back once again alongside Madness, my co-host, and of course, another special guest later on tonight. But folks, I hope you're ready, because I certainly am ready, because it's Qualifier 2 of the Elite Series. Madness, how are we feeling tonight?
Feeling good. You know, the top teams, kind of like the 4 teams that qualified from Qualifier 1 couldn't participate in this, right? So we're going to see a couple of new faces coming in over here that, you know, couldn't make it past Qualifier 1. They have the chance. And, you know, the top 4 teams that have gone into Semifinal 1, Semifinal 2, all 4 teams have qualified. Essentially, this is basically for seeding between these teams. So that's what you're going to get to see with them. As you can know, they have all qualified, they've all secured their spot, and they've already at least secured a part of that big prize pool that we already have in store for us.
Oh, absolutely. So let's not waste any more time, folks. Let's have a quick look at everything that's coming up for all of our viewers and, of course, all of our players, most importantly. So first off, of course, as we've done this before, we're doing it again. It's going to be the prize pool for this tournament. And that's the tournament as a whole, folks. So there's a lot riding on this, of course. And it is that big 3 lakh INR is, of course, the total. First place gets 1 lakh INR, second place 60,000, third place 40,000, fourth place 30,000, fifth and sixth get 25 each, and seventh and eighth get 10,000. You know, all things considered, it's really nice that each tier of placement gets paid, and because, of course, top 4 of each qualifiers gets qualified. You know, all these 4 teams that are going to be playing today, tomorrow, and day after, they have already qualified, right? So they're all getting paid at the bare minimum 10K. But of course, that 1 lakh at the top, that's what they're fighting for.
Absolutely. Who doesn't love money like that? But like you're saying, everybody has secured some money, no matter if it isn't, but it's a huge prize pool. So even that, you have that 1 lakh prize pool. So that's everyone who's going to be going for that. And you'll get to see a bit of how we are approaching this, because this is the prize pool basically for the playoffs, which all these teams have actually qualified for, right? It's just seeding that they're battling out again. So you're going to see how this started, because Qualifier 1 is already done. We are in Qualifier 2 right now. It's going to be beginning. It had begun quite a few days ago. It's just now semifinals are going to come up. That's what we're going to be shooting for you. As you can see, qualifiers won between 7th and 14th of September, right? And it was just the semifinals that were best of 3 going into the best of 5 at the end. The qualifier 2 began on 28th September. It's going to finish on Sunday of this week, 5th October. That's going to be your grand finals, and everyone has qualified. Like we talked, top 4 qualified for players from each qualifier. That's already happened. And then the actual, you know, the end game is going to be that playoffs between 6th and 19th of October to see which teams will qualify, or, you know, get which amount of that prize pool for themselves. And most importantly, the top 2 teams are going to qualify for the APAC Cup Asia qualifiers.
Oh, yes, that's the big one, right? APAC Cup Asia qualifiers, 2 spots, and only 2 spots exist. So realistically, that's the thing that they are fighting for here. And of course, let's not waste any more time, folks. Let's have a look at the brackets, the teams that have fought so far to get to this top 4 spot, and what their journey has been so far. Tonight, of course, it is RUE taking on again, excuse me if I butcher this, but KUIS Esports, or KUIS?
KUIS
KUIS Esports. KUIS. Okay, sorry. Thank you for that. So KUIS Esports versus RUE is going to be what is going to be our match tonight here. And you can see both teams have had a good time so far, going 2-0 and 2-0 in their respective matches against SmackDown Extreme and Team Illusion in the quarterfinal. So they're both on form. They're both feeling good about this. And now the question is, where will they go from here? What is tonight's match going to be? And I'll tell you what, it feels like it's going to be a close one.
I don't know if this is a glitch in the UI or like what we're displaying, because it looked like Hexakill actually won their matchup against Deadeye's Esports. So Deadeye's moved forward, so maybe a buy was given by Hexa at the end of the day. But I know both these teams, Andromeda Gaming and Deadeye's Esports, are definitely going to be watching out for this match between KUIS Esports and RUE, because this can be their future opponents depending on which way it goes in both these semifinals between these two teams. As you can see on your screen, that's Team RUE and Team KUIS. And talk to us a bit about the players over here, Blackjack.
You caught me drinking water. But of course, both of these teams that are playing tonight, they have a lot riding on this, of course. And speaking of which, let's have a look at the team members. As you mentioned, from the side of Team KUIS, we have Insanity, Wild, Cozy, Sunny, Starpy, Dr. Toxic, and What is AIM. That is the entire roster, of course. The playing five will depend on who is available and who isn't. And of course, this is a team from the Maldives, folks. So they are certainly a more unique team compared to the usual lineup we get to see here in the South Asia Elite Community Series. Most of the time, we have teams from India and Bangladesh and a mix of pretty much every other region. But these players are all from the Maldives, which has me quite excited. On the other side, for RUE, we have Sekib, Electric, Tony Plays, Cryptic, Fate, Venom, that's interesting, copyright free, Romar, and Too Ordinary. And this is an entire team from Bangladesh. So we've got a team from the Maldives, and a team from Bangladesh going up against each other in what is set to be certainly one of the more interesting games in South Asia 2025.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be interesting that you're going to get Maldives coming in over here. Like we said, we've seen a lot of teams from Bangladesh. Hasib Warriors, the ones who got in at the top of qualifier, one team from Bangladesh as well. So we know the Bangladesh region has a lot of prowess in this game, but it's up to see how KUIS is going to perform and represent their region in today's matchup. And we have a bit of, a change in, the basic maps that we have got for now. You'll see it in a couple of times when the video will be coming up. You can see what these teams have picked for each other. But I think before that, let's just take it like how much R6 has improved in our community right now, Blackjack, right? Because we are getting the South Asian scene yet again up and running. We're going to have 2 spots open for whoever going to ends up winning the playoffs, right? So I think the region's going to be improving quite a bit. We have new operators coming, the new operations also in it as well. So a lot of exciting things happening with Siege X going on over here. But honestly, this is going to be interesting because I've not watched either of these teams before. Like the last tournament that we casted together, we had seen those faces a couple of times before. So now it's going to be interesting to see the new mix, the new play styles that are going to be coming in across both these teams. And let's see if Maldives can put one over Bangladesh, or Bangladesh is going to get the upper hand. With that being said, guys, let's take a closer look at the map veto and see what these teams actually prefer for their own maps over here, Blackjack.
And here we have the map veto screen, folks, and already we've got a couple of interesting things going on here. So, according to the graph in front of us, we have Skyscraper, Chalet, and Consulate. Interesting. My notes say something different, but that might just be me here. We'll have to get to that in just a second. But if these are the maps, of course, then pretty interesting picks, all things considered. Skyscraper and Chalet, no real surprises there. Skyscraper actually is a bit of a surprise because it's not a map you see too often, right? Especially in South Asia. Now, in the wider zeitgeist of CG Esports, it's played fairly frequently. But here in South Asia, it's not a map that's favored a lot, especially like in qualifying matches, so on and so forth, mostly because there's a certain amount of difficulty to that map that in terms of momentum, right, it can be really hard to get going if you're not like fully gathered and ready to do what needs to be done on that particular map. But when it comes to Chalet, of course, we've seen it be played time and time again, and we, of course, will probably see it once more. Chalet, it's a standard map. We've seen it, like I said, and it's probably going to be Snowmobile to start. Maybe, probably. Nobody really likes going second floor bedroom on Chalet anyway, at least in pro play. For playing ranked, that's like the only site you'll be seeing the entire game. And of course, Consulate to decide. I mean, we've had this before conversation, that is that I'm not a big fan of Consulate as it is, but in terms of watching it as a, on the highest level of Rainbow Six, I certainly am a big fan. So, a little bit of a correction on what we saw on the map band screen right there. Looks like we'll be starting off with Clubhouse, folks, as map number 1. And we're already into the match screen, so it looks like we skipped right past the bands. All right, interesting. So let me issue that correction that I just said. The maps are going to be Clubhouse, Lair, and Consulate. The decider remains the same, but where the bands were placed were a little bit off on that graph. I will get that fixed, don't you worry. Apologies once again. And the site is second floor bedroom. Bands have been taken care of. We'll talk about that in just a second. Right now, it's second floor bedroom. There's a mirror in play, and we are getting right into round 1.
Yeah, talking about the bands that we missed, Kai Bandit taken out, so no more electric available the side of KUIS Esports on their defense, and they have opted for the gym bedroom side for themselves. Let's see how well it pans out. And the Mira, more importantly, has been left open, so you're going to use that quite a bit from the bathroom essentially for yourselves. A nice lineup comes in. You got 2 hard breachers coming. You got the Hibana, you got the Thermite. 1 in 20 plays, 1 in Cryptic Pig, and Electric's got the Finka. He's going to be looking to maybe charge in, but it's not that bad of a situation. We've already breached here into server room. They're very fast from what I can see from their playstyle over here, and you have nothing to actually interrupt or stop that breach from opening up in the hard breach side that you need over there in gym side over there. So I think this could be looking good for them. They're already in position. It's only 2 minutes 10 seconds left on the clock, and they're already looking to starting to make their entry points. This could be looking like RUE not taking proactive. I won't see if there are any rivers going around. You can see Insanity's roaming down the bottom of the stairs, but nothing else of much sort. They are still taking their time. They're biding their time to see it. The hatch is opened up. The drop's being watched by Watts aim, but for now, he's not going to find any trouble.
I like the speed with which they took this part of the map, right? No muss, no fuss. They're already here in CCTV. They've got the breach through, and we've already got Sunny taking a bit of damage right now through gunshots. Oh, wait a minute. Cozy is actually going to be the first one to get a kill, but gets traded immediately, and Cryptic finds 1 more. That's 2 down, and the Jaeger's already so low on health, trying to contest on the balcony window. And of course, we've got to be careful of that long line of sight in cash that's basically been taken care of. Grim is going to set up the bees, but most importantly, Electric is going to find Sunny. Insanity gets 1, but it's a 3v2 type situation, and the Mira is currently playing against her own Black Mirror. Venom finds 1 on the other side. C4 goes out. It doesn't find the Fink up, but the bullets do. Wild now in a 2v1 position away, knows position in the hallway is now known. There's the bees, and well, where are you really gonna go here? Because Grim is just gonna hunt you down, and there's only so much you can do. Pretty much sandwiched between the Kawan hives over there. Wild, there you go. The jumps in, and a little bit of a miss, but then it is secured. Venom gets the kill, and that will be round 1 going to the attack.
And you could see his partner had gone outside the window. He just went for a bit of a solo play. Came out on top of a bit of a messy situation towards the end in terms of firing. But at the end of the day, they do end up winning the round. And that's them taking so much space so earlier on. They're winning their gunfights. They're causing a lot of nuisance. I'm not seeing much roams coming from KUIS Esports as of yet. They're going to go back to the same site with the same operators. Everything exactly the same for them. They don't think they had a fall. They think their execution was their problem, not their planning. So maybe we get to see a bit more room, a bit more proactiveness for them to stop this early space being completely taken by RUE Esports, because they ran away with it. We saw how earlier on they had just taken complete server room for themselves. Arumi is making these holes, but you're not using the holes like she did last time, right? Everything is just being opened up. The mute jammers are for naught because they're honestly not just blocking anything, just walking in and destroying them, not much. It looks like Insanity has already lost HP over here, Blackjack.
That's curious. I wonder how that would have happened, because like Jaeger doesn't have a C4 and friendly fire is disabled in the prep phase, so yeah, I'm stumped. It might just be UI thing? I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that later. But for now, action phase has started, which means round number 2 is officially underway. And I do want to see if RUE keeps it as tight and efficient as they did in the first round, right? They were very quick to get themselves into CCTV, clear our cache, get the bodies as fast as possible. And they're going to want to do something similar, of course. You've got Seka playing the Zofia once again. You've got the breach charges. You've got the thermite ready to just rock and roll with the breach. Here you go. Somebody is playing in the 90 of this corridor, but he's going to roll away pretty quickly as Tony gets ready to get this construction wall wide open. There we go. Breach is done, but Sekim's going to be the one to fall first. That's huge right there as Cozy takes that kill. The Aruni winning out, but gets traded immediately. Cryptic comes around, finds that, and, well, puts the fate down for Cozy, making it 4v4.
4v4 instant Nitro thrown out the window, not gonna catch anything but air. But in the meantime, Venom has got the kill onto Insanity. So that's one less member for the defense. They're playing with a man disadvantage currently, and now they're actually fighting for that space in server. They're not gonna allow RUE to just walk up, but they have given 2 men over in that advantage for them. So the finger gets put up by the alarm. It doesn't matter, while ends up still falling down. What's in actually gets the trade kill, but then Sony plays instantly back in for the kill. Sony gets another, but oh no, Benham with the finishing touches in the matchup. It is not looking like this side is for them. This time they did have more roams going on, but that just meant that the round ended just not on the side.
A lot on that CC. A lot was invested on CC because they knew they needed to hold it down, right? What happened in round 1 was simple. They didn't invest enough in CCTV. It got breached pretty quickly. And then, you know, they just were completely shot like fish in a barrel. Now, this round, they wanted to avoid that. So you invest a little bit more, a couple more bodies in that part of the map. Problem is, you then ended up overcorrecting, at least in Team KUIS's case. They ended up overcorrecting, and they paid the price for it. So now, they've switched up the site, and, you know, as you should. It's round number 3, one more round before, of course, the final bans for this first half. So this round is pivotal for both teams, really. If RUE takes this round, RUE, if they win this, they make it a 3-0, and they essentially make it impossible for KUIS to have any sort of advantage going into the second half. Best case scenario for KUIS would be a 3-3 in that case, and that's exactly what they would want should they lose this round. Of course, ideally for them here, they pull some sort of a reverse sweep and then make it, I don't know, 4-2 in their favor. Is it a little improbable given the way this game is shaped up so far? Yes. But then again, we've seen more improbable plays happen in the history of South Asian League 6. So, you know, never count it out. Is what I would say. With that said, once again, speed on the breach. Of course, there is no denial, and there doesn't need to be with the Paid and the Bandit already gone, banned off the map. So, no resistance there, as at the 2-minute 30, we've got the breach done.
Opened up. Speed is the name of the game that RU likes to play with, and you have to see a basic setup from KUIS with the Azami in the garage. But oh my god, Capita's already been down on this side. Sunny is still looking for any prey that he can catch on, but no, it's going to be Tony Plays also getting knocked as well. 2 people knocked down from RUE, but Insanity gets the kill onto Benham. Cryptic Fake gets the kill onto Cozy. So it's still a 4 versus 4, but technically it's a 4 versus 2 because 2 players are still down by RUE. Finally, Sekim gets picked back up. Tony Plays is still on the ground. And no, Sekim, as soon as he comes back up, is sent straight to the death room. Insanity picks up that kill for himself. Already looking pretty nice and fastly on the Jaeger. The switch in the bomb side has actually helped them out quite a bit. A different mentality which they're playing. And this time, even though RU opened up the breach so earlier on, they can't make any headway whatsoever. There's no avenue through which they can actually enter this building. They're just looking if any pick potential is presented, because with the man disadvantage, that's what you honestly will be looking to do. What's aim with a quick speed? No, not the kill. Insanity gets a triple for himself onto Tony Plays off screen for himself. The fight is still going down between the Malusi over here. No picks whatsoever, but it's a 4 versus 2. I don't think RU can do anything except for pray a miracle happens in their favor. The Ash charge from the side of the window caused a bit of a distraction, but it's not enough. Actually, Cryptic gets the kill onto Insanity. Cryptic gets another to watch, and the miracle seems possible more and more. It's a triple for Cryptic, but in the meantime, Wild dashes in the hopes of the side of RUE, picks up the kill onto Electric. It's only Cryptic against the world. He's going to have to get an ace actually to end up winning this round because they're already on a triple kill from himself. Pre-fires on the window on the catwalk, not enough, but this is a nice crossfire setup going on between Sunny. I don't think this is possible for Cryptic. It's up to KUIS to honestly make a mistake here for him to be able to enter, get the bomb plant down. He's just holding the window, biding his time. 30 seconds left on the clock. He's going to have to make a move whatsoever. He throws down the smoke. He's going to try and walk into it. I'm expecting fires going out as soon as the noise comes in. As soon as the Fenrir gets activated, and that's going to be Sunny using the bait that was while on that side, ends up picking up the kill for himself. And finally, KUIS Esports have a point to themselves.
KUIS Esports with the first point on board, and better late than never in round number 3. Well played, all things considered, to them, of course, though I will say it took them playing a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more forward on that breach, and of course, with Insanity, the Jaeger playing the off angle of being in first floor from the main door and then from the pool table window. So a little bit more of that, right? That's exactly what they're looking for, I think, going forward from here, as we have the final bans for the first half. Azami, understandably so, and on the other end, it's Hibana, the second breacher of the night who's been banned. Now, given that it's Clubhouse, I expect breacher bans. In fact, I am a little surprised that Thermite and Ace have gotten away for the attacking half. Now, I do understand the idea behind Maverick, because you don't want to get Maverick tricked on any of those walls. It's really hard to counter. Actually, it's completely uncounterable. And he can just safely, especially with the change to electricity being a more neutral tool now, he can just safely, turn a wall soft and have Zophie or Buck deal with the fallout of that. So Maverick ban is 100% understandable, but then you also have to realize Ace is a really, really strong breacher right now, right? Relatively safe breach positions, one of the best guns in the game, if not the best AR in the game, hands down. And then, of course, you have just his general movement capacity, I should say. So the fact that he's still in and you've got the Monty band instead, maybe not the best banning decision by KUIS, but then again, RUE might be, shield players at the end of the day, especially, again, it's Clubhouse. Monty does see a good level of play here, especially on CCTV. With all that said, we're going to be moving right into round number 4 here. And looking at the op selection from both sides, nothing too particularly surprising. Speaking of Ace, I did talk a lot about him, and he is here. You've got secondary hard breaches on both Sophia and Grim, so they are not risking it. They are getting as many breaches as possible. On the side of the defense, of course, the Valkyrie comes out from Sunny, but the Ella as well from Cozy. Not a pick you see too often, but I like the idea behind it. It's to stall and to have a gigantic magazine just in case you run into multiple opponents.
Yeah, and because Ace comes in, has to use 2 of these Ace charges to open up that. And I think the secondary hard breach is going to be opening up the tunnel in dirt, try and get some damage for himself. And the Mira is actually situated pretty early up, depending on how they actually want to aim for. He's going to be watching the walk down on the main staircase here on the bottom side, in case anyone wants to come in. But cheap angles being held by Sakib from the hatch, and dirt has been opened up. Like I was talking about, Cryptic in the meantime ends up falling down. He's knocked down. He's put out of his misery. But no, actually Benham getting the kill on to Sunny instead. So Cryptic is still going to get picked up. He's going to actually go for the defuse, get the plant down. But no, here comes a timely C4 from What's In. Gets the pick up onto Cryptic, makes it a 4 versus 4. Here comes the charge, gets the line charge actually instead. And 2 people end up getting spotted out. Now finally the bomb goes down in the Fenrir Shroud. But no, it still goes down. It's through. It's a 4v4 retake for the side of KUIS right now. They have to find some, they have to get some avenues to get in. They have to get placement in dirt tunnel, because if dirt is left free open, it's just free fire situated even from above. Their angles being held. The vertical is there. Benham gets another onto What's His Name. Tony gets picked up by KUIS. Benham gets another onto Wild. Sakib gets a kill onto Cozy. And it's Sakib to close out the round. So unfortunate for the side of KUIS Esports. That other round seemed just to go in the favor. This one could not. There are so many angles that bomb was held down for. It was a 4v4 retake. And with those many angles to look at, it's almost impossible to get back onto side.
And that right there is another reason why Grim is banned so very often these days, right, in competitive Rainbow Six. Not the words you'd expect to be saying when Grim launched way in the beginning of year 9, but as of today, he is an absolute terror to deal with. Was it year 9 or year 8? My memory is a little fuzzy, folks. But as it stands, Grim in that round was pivotal, right? Grim and Lion essentially being the info gatherers and the defenders, the bane of defenders' existences. Because on one hand, you've got the Lion scan going off, you know, Big Brother in the sky going, you know, whoop, 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 as you do. But then you have the Grim Kawan Hives, just like Lion stops you from moving. But then Grim forces you to get away from his Kawan Hive. So you then have to make the decision, if you're sitting in Arsenal boxes, where do you go? Because if there's a Kawan Hive nearby and a you know, Lion scan goes off, guess what? You are out of luck, my friend. You now need to either move away from the Kawan Hives and risk getting spotted by the Grim, shot by Finka in dirt, or you sit still, let the Kawan Hive spot you, you know, save yourself from the Finka, but then if the Grim has line of sight, guess what? You're going to get shot anyway. And worst case scenario, or best case scenario, I should say, you can't move whatsoever. And that's exactly what happened, right? A complete shutdown of in-sight defense. So quick play from RUE just to kind of set the tone of this second half of the first half. I know that's a little confusing, but you know, post bans, I think is the word here. But with that said, Mute and Denari coming out from KUIS, looking to just slow things down a little bit more, potentially speaking, while Sunny, he's on the roam all the way in the top floor.
But this is the entry from Dirt. They're 4 men strong, walking in the instant pick onto Insanity from Cryptic. They've made their way into sight. It's only 2 minutes left on the clock, and they're already in there. And this is a surprise play coming in from RUE. The KUIS did not expect. Venom, he swings into the Fender, picks up the kill onto Wild. It's a 4 versus 2. The bomb's going down yet again. Speed is the name of the game that RUE plays, ladies and gentlemen. And they are playing it to perfection. Once an answers back gets the kill onto Sakib. It's a 2 versus 3. KUIS has to do a lot to walk in. Now the Black Eyes won't help you well. Electric, nice flick onto the head of Sunny on the corner over there. Sunny had the complete advantage, but Electric gets the better at the end of the day. He's looking for more. Can't get the mirror this time. Mirror gets the down, not going for the finish. They're looking for more picks for him. Can he get the pick onto Grim? Grim finally chooses to finish the killer. Triple kill for Watson, but it goes in not. It goes in vain. As Venom is the man of the hour in this matchup. He is getting multiple frags on multiple frags in multiple rounds.
And that's the kind of player you want on your team, right? Multi-kill after multi-kill after multi-kill. Venom has certainly proven their worth here. But one thing I will also say in RUE's favor is that they are definitely really good at rush plays, aren't they? And it's on the map of Clubhouse as well, a map that's not really known for rush plays like this. But here we are. It's certainly a bit of an odd day for this, but you know, I'm not opposed to it. If you have new plans and strategies to show off on a map as old as this, certainly show off to your heart's content. With that said, I do like their aggressiveness. I like how fast they get these rounds done. It's like they have a train to catch. Like, guys, come on. We're done with this round. One more. Let's do this quick. They're already 4-1 up. We're already round number 6. It's barely been like 30 minutes since we started the stream, give or take. But with that said, we're moving into, as I said, round number 6. Last round of the first half, and RUE, they're going to be looking to make it a 5-1 if possible. And KUIS, the best thing they can do now is get around for themselves, kind of reset their momentum, reset their mental, and try to make it work in the next half, the second half, when they will be on the attack. Will that happen? Will they be able to do that for themselves? Well, it remains to be seen as we move now into this 6th round.
6th round on the clock. We've gone back into gym, it seems, for us, actually into server room. A nice cheeky angle on the door. 2 spots open up. The drone spots him out. He has to reposition, but Cozy is actually walking in further. He's looking for a kill. Can he actually end up? This might be an exchange between Sekib and Cozy. Cozy backing away from the door slightly, but always surely, yes, no interaction will be done. And we also have a Deimos along with the Rower, and as in fashion of RUE, the breach has already been done. It's not even been 15-20 seconds into the round. Nosa has put down her shield, has positioned herself over here, uses an AP grenade to get rid of the Rumi at the door, uses another to get another. Barkozy finally gets his kill. It's going to be Venom, one of the most important players in RUE during their attack, as it seems so, right? So, but for once, KUIS actually has that man advantage. It's a 5 versus 4 in favor of the defensive side. They're looking to get another notch in their name. Only have one round so far. This could be the next one. And roams are in from Sunny. Sunny's looking to see if anyone's entering from below. But Osa has complete view. Electric in the meantime with the Amos gets a kill onto Wild, but instantly traded by Watt's aim. So we resume that man advantage from the side of KUIS Esports. Osa just trying to pre-fire onto the catwalk, not going to be catching anything whatsoever. Another breach made in the bottom side of garage on the back side of the walls. Reinforce a pre-fire onto Sunny's head, but it's slightly above. Sorry, above Sakib's head, slightly above. Sunny gets the kill onto it. Cryptic gets 2 more for himself.
Ooh.
Don't.
Oh dear me. Looks like we have had.
okay.
Okay.
We're
there we
back.
go. There we go.
Back
Feed is
over
back, folks. Temporary hiccups, don't you worry. Right now it's a 2v1. Wait a minute, they turned it around. RUE, we take our eyes off of them for maybe 15 seconds, and suddenly it is all down to what is aimed to clutch it out in a 1v2 type situation. Playing in red stairs right now. Cryptic Fade going in. He's going to go for the plant. And of course, we've got the Osa just sitting outside of the breach. He's got plenty of room to play this safely. Grenade goes out. That's going to take care of the Osa shield, and this could give him the room he needs to do this. That's one.
It's done. It's done.
One more. Wait. But Therma is down. Yeah, he has time, more than enough time, in fact, to get the clutch, the defuse. As what is aim in a moment of brilliant situational awareness threw that impact grenade, got rid of the Osa shield, and said, you know what, I'm clocking in and locking in. He got the 1v2 with the defuse to finish it off. Well played to that player right there. What is aim with the clutch, saving them from a 1-5 down first half. However, they're still 2-4 down, but it is the second half. So this gives them time to reset, refresh, and go on to the attack rounds with a brand new mentality.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to say. And you know he's not a KD player because he had the guy knocked down, didn't even finish it, just went for the diffuse simple. And surely, it seems we might have a disconnection. Sunny has disconnected from the game, so I'm assuming a pause is coming in. And that's exactly what is going to happen. But yeah, at least get to see the first bans. It's going to be that Ace and the Kite. The Kite seems to be the factor that both these teams honestly do not want to deal with. And KUIS has to really step it up into that. They can't always expect to rely on what's his aim to get out these kind of clutches, to get these kind of performance out. They have to come together as a team. Individual performance is just not enough. The team chemistry has to be there. Let's see how that goes, because if RUE's attack is anything to go by, they are very aggressive. They like to use that speed to their runner. They like to set the tempo from the matchup. So I'm expecting them to be this aggressive even in defense.
That's the thing about RUE, right? I'm expecting them to be that aggressive in the second half, right? Because an aggressive defense on Clubhouse is not unheard of, right? You go for spawn peaks, you go for the runouts and all that, and you play to your strengths in that regard. However, of course, we will need to see how KUIS kind of plays around it. Because, like I said before, aggressive plays are nothing new when it comes to the map of Clubhouse, right? Aggressive defense, active defense, as I like to call it. So KUIS might have plans for it. They might know, or at least have an idea of what to expect, and they might be able to kind of go at it from there. With all that said, of course, to those who might have already seen it, the timer has paused, and we're just waiting to get that player who disconnected from the side of KUIS back in. I do believe it's just a case of a game restart. It does tend to happen, folks. You know how it is. But with that said, they are certainly, RUE that is, certainly have a good advantage right now. And going into the 7th round, we'll just have to wait and see. Oh yeah, we've got the ready confirmation. So we are going to be going straight into the second bans. It's Thermite and Valkyrie to round out the first 2 bans from each side in this second half. Around about round number 10 or just before that, we will get the final bans coming in, and that will, happen when it happens. For now, let's move into second floor cash room and CCTV with RUE taking on their first defense round.
Yeah, and we can already see that we're going to be bringing in the 3-speed operator, going to be the alibi coming in for Electric. So expect him to make some plays. And we're going to have Benham actually picking up the Bandit. So I'm not sure if he's going to be looking for Bandit tricking or he's going to be looking for Rogue, because he seems to be the kind of player who likes to set the pace, likes to get that first blood for his team. We had the usual, Azami for the catwalk in Garage side. It's going to be the CCTV room startup coming in. We have a couple of switches of operators from KUIS. I mean, certainly this is after they have seen what is up. And KUIS themselves will be bringing out the Monty and the Maverick. They think they're optimal. That's why they had Bandit out, but they think this is going to be good for their own plan. And even with the Capra, you can clear out a lot in the Catway. You can get some space for yourself. And the Grim will also come into fit. The Buck can cause quite a bit of distance from below if he's allowed to roam around as nicely as possible if he has people roaming with him as well. Banditures are going to be placed down over here. I'm not sure if he's going to be looking for the ship. He's put it on the both sides so in case the EMPs were brought in. But we have a Maverick at the end of the day. It's not going to make much of a difference if you have that Bandit, because he's going to, Maverick trigger, make it a soft roll. Buck can just blast it open. We have a run out earlier on. Electric actually takes a bit of damage for his troubles. Tried to make the proactive play. Didn't at least this time work out. And Garage backside has already been opened up with that secondary hard breach from the hands of the Maverick on the backside, actually in the hands of that Capita or the Grim, depending on how they get. But we are expecting maybe someone from basement. You can hear the shield from the POV electric, so they know there's a Monty on the cards from just how that shield sound is coming out. Another hard breach on the backside of Garage. They're trying to create multiple avenues for themselves. There's already one peeking from the staircase. No, he's not gonna catch out, but it might be Tony Place in a hard spot. He has someone watching his back basement stairs, so he can be comfortable about that angle. But he has to be a bit cautious about which angles he wants to end up picking. For now, nobody's going to go out. Insanity actually ends up going down, so it's going to be RUE with the man advantage. The Monty has made himself in, but there's Barber in the staircase. He doesn't want to go in for it. He's walking sideways to prevent the guy shooting him from either from side, either from the catwalk. Reloading from 20 place. Not going to be paying out, as we are seeing QE's actually plays way slower compared to what RUE is playing, and they're trying to bully this Monty in the corner over here, Blackjack.
Oh dear me, Montaigne alone on Garage door. He's got support, and that's going to be Cozy coming in for that that important kill. Sekeb with one death added to the tally. Tony comes around, finds what is aim, but immediately gets traded by Cozy. They're gonna take control of Garage with the Montaigne and the Capital now here. And the smokes are out to allow for that extra bit of room. Shotgun! And that's why you commit to the bit. Cozy is going to get taken down as well. The Montaigne going ADS at the Garage line of sight here. Not the most advisable action. Gets shot in the face for his trouble. And with that said, it is 5-2. RUE playing not as much active defense, actually, as you said, Madness, as they opted to play it more traditionally, more, wait for them to come to us kind of situation. And I guess I do see why they would do that. It was the first round of defense, and they were kind of getting the hang of, hey, how does KUIS play their defense, right? Play their attack. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they bring. They saw the Montaigne. They didn't panic. They knew exactly what to do and where to go, and they played just accordingly, right? It was your standard round of defense, successful defense, I should say, on the map of Clubhouse. So really no notes per se, just the fact that RUE has been a very formidable team, and KUIS has certainly shown their struggle against this team so far.
Absolutely, and you can see that it's because Insanity went down very early on with the round. I think when he was making his Maverick holes, that's why the entire wall wasn't open and the breach wasn't there. There was just a small, the small secondary hard breach opened up by the Grim. And that's the advantage that was used by the shotgun of the mid from Skip. Just walks in, gets shot into the face. Nothing that you can do in that situation. But now they have elected for the gym and bedroom. The mirror is still available to them, so they're going to be using that to full effect. Let's see, because this is QUIS with kind of their backs against the wall. They don't want to even one more round over, because that puts RUE on match point if that does happen. So a map point if that does happen. So they don't want to be in that kind of tricky spot. They have to start acting up right now. We saw them trying to make plays with the Monty last time. It didn't work out. RUE, like you said, very rightfully so, they knew exactly how to do it. They pushed onto them. They created a lot of space for themselves, and you use the advantage from the the breach not opening up to get your mana advantage even more for yourself. And very importantly, getting the Maverick out of the round very early on into it. Again, this time it's going to be actually Tony plays on the alibi. It's going to be Electric playing more of that 0. So Tony plays will be looking to be making some plays for himself. And I was talking about this last round as well. KUIS takes it very slowly,
Ooh.
and that slowness does not pay off because Tony plays well, scamping here in garage, picks up a kill, picks up another, this time onto Sunny. Clean headshots coming in from this alibi from Tony plays, and it seems that they have a very good decision from RUE to shift him onto this operator because now he has free reign, now he can get picks like this, and it's KUIS already with a 2-man disadvantage even before Breach can start opening up.
And that was even before the 2-minute mark had gone off, right, on the timer. And look at that, Tony is still being an absolute nuisance. Now trying to go for a peek out of garage. You've got the alibi Prismas here giving away positions of multiple operators on the roof and on the bottom floor. So it's just a case of this alibi Tony being, a complete menace. And that is exactly what they needed. Of course, Maverick has come in and made some lines of sight. The wall is soft, but they don't have their breacher anymore. Sunny fell not too long ago trying to push this alibi. So really, Tony's contribution to the round is certainly quite high, but not Electric is going to be the one to go down on the other side. So 1 kill has been taken back, and that's going to be from the DMR of the Brava, Cozy, down below in the first floor. Interesting position to be in as an attacker with 50 seconds on the clock, but it got them a kill, so really nothing to be argued against here. And looks like Cozy might want to go up the main stairs up to the bedroom hallway. This would be an interesting 2-pronged attack if it is successful, of course. But the question is, can they take control of construction? This Mira certainly doesn't want them to, as that was a very big peak right there by Cryptic. He's just going to fall all the way back. He's got a mirror window. He doesn't have to risk it. Second falls on the other side. Wild gets one. That's a good one indeed. The mute in Cash's side. And there goes Cryptic as well. Multiple bodies falling. And this is exactly what I meant about a 2-pronged attack. This Brava on the main stairs has been the linchpin of it. Ooh. But Tony comes back around. And if he could potentially get even more here, he's going to go for the swing. He gets the quad. He wants the ace right now. Bailiff out. He's going to get it. Gets down behind the bed, and the timer runs out before he can confirm his ace right there. But for all figurative purposes, folks, that might as well have been the ace for the round. Tony on the alibi. Somebody stop this man, as RUE has now moved on to map point.
Map point it is. Tony plays, making massive plays over there. Almost got the ace. His bailiff ran out of the bullets. He anyway hit. Time ran out. KUIS ends up going down. So Tony, a huge nuisance. Gets those 2 early picks. That's what we were talking about. Even the Maverick makes the wall soft. You don't have the Ash anymore to open it up. You didn't even have a buck available to you. So that's a good plays coming in from him. He's going to be switching over to Dubara right now. I'm assuming we are going basement, and that's exactly what it should be looking like. We see a couple of changes coming up. Solace actually ends like a beta plus the pulse in the hands of Cryptic. It looks like we even have Electric picking up the cup gun, so more trap setups coming in. You're gonna have to be worried about doorways going in for yourself. We don't have a kite available, so you can't electrify these hatches. You're gonna have to maybe play from above, maybe make some vertical, cause some nuisance. That's why, but that's more important. That's why you have the trackers in the hands of KUIS. We have that Deimos coming into the hands of Insanity. Let's see if we can make very impressive plays. And more importantly, this operator that we know and love so much, Blackjack, this Blackbeard will be coming in the hands of Sunny. So you can take away something like, maybe the Monty doesn't work out, but maybe they think that the Blackbeard will. You're going to be opening up a fire extinguisher bot side at this earlier. Every prep phase is now over. Map point for the side of RUE, and KUIS Esports backs against the wall. Do they have an answer of what can come for themselves? Because last time it was Tony Play's show. They have to be wary of these roamers. That's the whole point. Because RUE aggressive, like I was talking about in attack, they're going to be aggressive in defense. They're going to be looking for these early pickoffs to neutralize man advantages, to make sure that they are the ones standing out on top. They are the ones with everything, all the cards in their hand. Now Buck's going to open up server. There is a Solace close by. His position should be given away by the Free Fire. It is now, and there's a Blackbeard onto him. Blackbeard will be getting the kill. We talked about this operator even before the actual round has started off, and we already see the impact coming in over. There's a Solace drop down very early onto the round, but Cozy and Sunny have taken quite a beating as well.
Yeah, both of them are a little bit low on health, lower than they would probably like to be. Oh, dear me, that was a bit of an attempt at a feint right there, but you're gonna pay for that, as Insanity was already waiting on the other side in gym to take that cap can down. Electric falls, and that's 2 down for the price of none. as KUIS has certainly made it the point to hunt down the roamers as fast as possible. Well done, but you still got to deal with Tony, Cryptic, and Venom, all of whom have been firing on all cylinders. Actually, fun fact, the two players that have gone down for the defense of RUE are Electric and Sekib, who have mostly been actually hanging on the back foot and playing support roles, and that's exactly why Venom gets one, and oh dear me, the cap can strikes. What is aim will fall. The Clutch Master a few rounds ago, unfortunately, gets taken off by the EDDs. And that's why you need an IQ, or at least you need to watch your doors, fellas. Otherwise, you're going to find your shins exploding into a million pieces.
Absolutely. From the grave, Electric strikes back. Null made it 3 versus 3. Sunny still on the low HP mark from above. Insanity looking for a pick. He's still not using Demon's Gadget. Has 3 still available to him if he wants to look for any of the variety. And now you have to start making way down. If there's only 1 minute left on the clock, you have to try to make the approach. Cryptic should be looking around. Azami puts a nice gadget onto the wall. Creates pretty much a one-way for himself, depending on how you're going to be looking at it. The knee should be showing for yourself. Venom all alone in blue, in utility room, looking for a pick. Doesn't find one. Instead, Wild finds the skull of the Azami, gets the numbers for himself, and now KUIS Esports going to be looking to walk their way in. Blackbeard might get caught out, but no, Tony Play does not connect this time. Not everything that comes out of this man's gun is golden, at least this time for himself. The flashbangs come in, everyone blinded on site. The Blackbeard is going to be making his approach. Tubaro's trying to knock him away. Tubaro does that in vain, but oh my god, Wild is looking to pick him up a kill. You do get the knockdown, but you don't get the finish. The backup was there from behind, and Wild comes, gets the knife essentially over there. The melee range, gonna take it any time of the day, and KUIS Esports still have fight left in them, at least for map number 1 over here.
Yeah, they needed it. They needed this round, and they needed to show us that they've got it, what it takes to take another one for themselves. Well played, all things considered. They bringing out the Blackbeard was certainly a good move, but unfortunately, it will only have lasted that one round because Blackbeard is banned, and we're going to be moving into the latter half of the second half, or I should say the final 3 rounds of the second half, barring, overtime notwithstanding. Oh, dear me. All right, looks like fireworks are going off already. Don't celebrate yet, folks. They haven't won. But with that said, 6-3 still to RUE. They've got essentially 3 more map points to go if they keep losing rounds before we then hit OT. Will that happen? Honestly, I don't know. Because all things considered, I'm looking at how this match has gone so far, right? This first map. And the trend that is appearing so far is that RUE wins 2 rounds, then you have KUIS winning 1, then you get the bans, then RUE wins 2 more, KUIS wins 1, we swap halves, RUE wins 2, KUIS wins 1, we got the bans. So is it going to be the same? Because if it is, then RUE might be looking to close it out here and now in this particular round and move on to map number 2, which of course will be everybody's definite favorite lair. And once we get there, of course, all bets are off, right? Because Lair is just one of those maps you don't see very often, right? And looking at it, it is picked by KUIS, so they definitely should have something good planned for that map. At least that's what I'm hoping. But in lieu of the Blackbeard getting banned, they've decided to bring out, guess who? It is Blitz, folks. Only the second most annoying shield operator in the entire game. And depending on who you ask, maybe even the most annoying. But of course, annoyances aside, that Blitz is certainly going to be one to watch out for. But Sekib, he is getting aggressive early. And he's on the roam once again. Oh dear me, you don't just vault in like that. You got to wait for the drone to give you intel, folks. And that is exactly why the Solus will know, and the Solus will punish you if you just jump in without checking. 2 to Sekib, and we're only at the 2-15.
Yeah, and that's basically 2 separate 1v1s given to him, but finally Sunny actually gets the pick. Nice shooting coming in for him. Gets the pick onto Seki. Very delayed trade, but still man advantage for the side of RUE, and I agree with you. You don't just vault into windows like that, especially if there's a Solus on the prowl. At least do it together in a 2-prong attack like you're talking about, but they give him separate 1v1s. He takes advantage, doesn't lose his ship, but the trade at least comes in for Sunny. But now they know there is a blitz on the move. What's aim tries to go for pre-fires on the staircase, not actually ending up getting much for himself. But oh, the push-up coming in because there's a blitz from the other side. It is a complete pinch coming in. They crunch him into position. Sunny gets his second kill of the game. It's going to be on to Electric again. Yet again, Electric and Sakib are the ones that end up falling down earlier into the round. At least it's still equalized numbers depending on how you see it. And if Fenrir is still in the books, that can prevent the blitz when he's trying to charge into side. The hatches have to actually start to get opened up, and that's what Tebana's looking to do. He's trying to open up the hatch into blue, maybe make his progress that way. But for now, he's just pretty much opening every single hatch. I think kitchen hatch is still not open. That's the last one remaining for himself. Sunny is checking for Kapkans at every single door because he is going to have to be completely worried because of what Electric did last time. He has kind of PTSD about what's going now. But oh my god, the Pulse finds out where people are, but now puts back the RTC, sees they have shifted. Oh my god, he can be actually looking for kill. He opens up this floor. He can actually get a pick on man just standing there onto his cam instead. But now the hatch is opened up. The drop should be coming in soon. 44 seconds left on the clock for KUIS to make the movement. There are cameras available. They're spotting out the members of KUIS Esports on vision. They have to make their approach onto side, and they are trying to head into A side. Reminder, there is no Mira to cover. That's a free walkway into that hallway as well. Here comes the flash, here comes the smoke. Tony gets a pick onto what's aim. The blitz is charging for him, but he's killed from behind by Venom. So Sunny not aware of his 180 of the man on his 6, and he pays his price in the shotgun close range. Cryptic gonna win that any day of the week. A shotgun close range is gonna be, you know, something that you can't actually find. It's not even that close range. That's how broken sometimes shotguns are in this game, and that's going to be RUE Esports taking this map in pretty dominating fashion, if I say for themselves, and putting a very good pace. This was a very quick map.
Absolutely, very quick map. Indeed, 7-3, and that's not even counting the minor technical difficulties we've had a couple of times. So 7-3 to the side of Team RUE, that is, and they will be the ones to go 1-0 up, essentially creating map point for themselves, as in they are 1-0 up in a best of 3, right? So they just need to win one more game, folks, and they will be able to finish it off in a 2-0. And that's exactly what they're probably looking for here. And I'll tell you what, folks, certainly quite a lot happened in that map. Quite a lot happened in those final few rounds as well. But with that said, we have, like I said, a mystery guest, and that mystery guest has appeared. It is our very own Bullet, who is here as our analyst for tonight. So, Bullet, you saw the games with us. You saw the hype. What is your analysis?
I would say for sure in the defensive part of side, KUIS, we're definitely not ready for what's coming in from the side of RU. We did saw a lot of the struggling phase, especially when the bomb site was on the second floor objective, as the gym bedroom or towards the offices. But yeah, on towards when the objective side went down to the basement, yes, we did saw the twist in the tail that RU was the side of KUIS were also able to put out some really good clutches. We did saw that exceptionally well made clutch in the 6th round. That was a clutch coming in from the side of Tomorrow, I guess, in a 1v2 scenario. So yes, we do see that in sometimes around when the cohesive play happens, the slow plays happen, or some of the guys like Cozy or Insanity, yes, they are able to pull it off against the team like RUE in a really good manner. Apart from that, don't get me wrong, folks, this does seemingly went really well for the side of RU for the entirety of the map, and that's why you are able to see a 6-2 scoreline in just like 20-25 minutes since like the starting of the broadcast. Now again, coming to the side of KUIS, I believe this was not their map pick, so I am hoping to see some kind of like a different scoreline when we go on the second map, which is going to be their map pick.
Mm-hmm, definitely, and you can't let KUIS Esports let RUE set the pace like this completely every single time, especially in the attack. Right, they're taking so much free space. Only once they started fighting back, there's been some rounds coming, but the first round itself set the tempo of how this map is going to be looking for the side of RUE. They go for that aggressive pick. Even you have nice plays coming in. Tony goes crazy one round, yeah. Then the Solace goes crazy another round in the defense half. So you have them individually. Their roaming style is way better than what I'm seeing KUIS at least putting out for now. And like you said, this is probably not their map pick, right? So maybe not accustomed to how they wanted to play. Maybe the game plan wasn't fully, nailed down on how they. So hopefully better things to come in map number 2. But if this map is anything to go by, this might be just a 2-0 because RU is looking pretty dominant.
Yeah, that is actually very true. RUE, just overall based on what I've seen, they like being aggressive. They like being fast. They like to get in, out, done. Either defusers on the ground or they get all the bodies, right? And that's honestly a playstyle on Clubhouse I can get behind because Clubhouse does tend to drag, if you ask me, sometimes, right? You can go long hours on that map. Even if you're playing ranked, you can go long hours because everybody's played that map before. Everybody knows that map like the back of their hand. Especially the higher ranks you go, the more pro play you have, the more you play Clubhouse, the more you'll understand why this map is played so often, but also why this map tends to go as far as it does more than half the time. But with all that said, Bullet, given what we've seen so far in map number 1, and given the fact that map number 2 is a KUIS pick, but more importantly that they've picked Lair, what would you say KUIS would need to kind of bring to the table on Lair to kind of pull themselves back here? Because I think that's the question in everybody's mind.
Yeah, again, as I was able to confirm that RU has picked up a side of the side to play as defender first. I was like kind of like that confusion that QS will get the chance to pick the attacking or defensive side. Don't get me wrong, folks. It for me it looks like yes, they should have got that maybe had that opportunity to pick the defending or the attacking side as well, because Lair is a very huge map compared to what the other maps in Siege offer. Maps like Lair, maps like other one that's like 91 Labs as well. They are some of the very big maps that you get in the entire game of Siege X, where the defensive side gets a whole lot of creativity play that they can do, especially with some of the new operators coming into the game. So if they had the defensive pick, defensive starting play as the first few rounds coming into the first half, I would say it would have a different side of like a storyline coming in from both sides. But are you being on the defensive side, and then we have seen RU what they did in their defensive play in the first match as well, first map, very few rounds as well, but they had to do in the second half. They were able to pull up a very good attacking play. But to just continue that conversation, before that, let's take a look at the entire stat play coming in from both sides. I mean, you just look at the cost percentage of Electric from the winning side, and then you look at the cost percentage of all of the players coming in from the side of Qs. The difference is not by a mile, but there's a certain difference which kind of like tells you the entire story, even if you have not watched the entire map number 1.
Yeah, definitely so. And then talking about, just looking at Benham, right? Benham went crazy in the attack rounds, got multiple frags in multiple rounds. Like 14-3 is a very good scoreline to have, and especially in such a bloody type of map of how they're just going hammer in everyone's face. Cryptic will pick up this, like, even like you're talking about Electric and Seke, maybe on the slower side, in terms of kills, but their presence was not only talking about Electric having that 80% cost for himself. Then Tony plays out of those 9 kills, he got 4 in one round itself, where he was even maybe looking for a 5th when completely crazy on the alibi. That's one round, and that hurts your mental a lot. If like there's just one player shutting you down on the opponent team, that's what QS have to deal with, a bit of a mental block as well going into that, coming from themselves. And you could see that Cozy, right? He got 3 first kills, only died once the first kill. So he's trying to get those opening picks for himself. And then what his aim is also trying to go in for clutches. He's got a triple kill, one round, couldn't end up closing it out. And then the 1 versus 2, he ends up closing it out for himself. So there are, those avenues, or you see those sparks coming from QS. They have to just, make those sparks into flames to allow them to actually progress up over here. Because remember, guys, every single team you're going to be seeing in Semifinal 1, Semifinal 2 have qualified, but it's about seeding. It's about seeing yourself against these teams, because you will be facing against these same teams when you head into the playoffs as well.
Yeah, and that actually kind of brings me to that point that these matches can also kind of be seen as test runs, right? For each team. They're fighting each other here and now, and they'll be facing each other again in the playoffs. And so they can use the knowledge that they gain here in the playoffs themselves. Because at the end of the day, one of these two teams will bow out tonight of this particular qualifier, right? Qualifier 2. And they'll probably play for third place tomorrow in an off-stream game. Not tomorrow, but day after, in like an off-stream game or whatever. And sure, that'll be fun, I guess. But really, it's about the experience. They will know here what they can kind of expect. Even if it is in a slightly limited capacity, it will still be good to have it, right? Good to know what it is that your opponent team is bringing to the table, what their overall play style is, and what their comfort picks are, right? So for instance, now with KUIS bringing out the shielders so much in the second half, I certainly expect that any team going up against them will be looking to ban the shielders going forward from there. It's just one of those things that has cause and effect, and I certainly would like to see more of that happening. I mean, to be fair, I think we can all kind of agree here, folks. Shielders can get a little annoying when overplayed too much. To be fair, this was just the first shield play of the night, just 2 rounds, so I'm not going to be too harsh on them. But if we see too many of that in Lair, I'm definitely coming after them. I'm just kidding, I'm not. But with that said, Lair is certainly going to be very, very exciting. And I'll tell you what, folks, Lair is not a map I am very I find enjoyable. I might be in the minority for that, because I do know a lot of people tend to enjoy Lair these days. I don't know how you guys do it. But Lair map 2, I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. We'll get to that in just a moment, as soon as we have confirmation of where the teams are and what the lobby situation is, because of course we're gonna also have a quick switch up of some other things as well. So with that said, there we go, we've gotten the confirmation. So folks, we're going to be taking a quick break, but we'll be right back with map 2 Lair. Don't go anywhere.
made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.
Guys, welcome back to the competition. So there's an elite series going on over here. We are in qualifier to semi-final 1. We already one map in over here. RUE took that for themselves in pretty dominating fashion against KUIS Esports. We're expecting maybe big things come from them because this might be their map pick. So let's see what this team can bring out against. For reminder, yet again, both these teams have qualified. This is for seeding, and like just said, this is maybe like kind of a test match between both these teams right now to see how they can fare up against each other in the playoffs.
Yes, I mean,
Yep.
talking about the second map, Blackjack, that we have seen, we were talking about this one, before going into the break. Oh, apologies for that, folks. Yeah. We were talking about this, that, how things can take a turn, especially in the second one, because that was the map pick coming in from the side of, RU in the very first one. And now you have the interchanged one where the losing team has the map pick on the second one. But we were talking about how Lair is a very big map. It has ton and ton of space for the side of the defending team to kind of like play in a very, very kind of like a creative way, or maybe in the very usual methodical siege that you always see in some of the other regions. What I'm really happy about is the fact that Lair is now being one of the preference in our region. Blackjack, coming to you, Blackjack, we have definitely seen some other region games that Lair and 91 Labs are definitely one of the topics coming in from a lot of the teams, especially in the tier 2 and the tier 3 circuit. But we know our region, how they are kind of like very, very hesitant to adapt to some of the newer maps coming into the siege, coming into the game. I mean, Lair, now I guess Lair was introduced way back in 2023 or 2024, I suppose, more than a year or two. But still, this is one of the least, I would say, maps being picked and played in some of the competitive teams what we have in our region. What do you have to say about that, Blackjack?
Honestly, all things considered, it's certainly refreshing. No, I will agree with you in that regard, Bullet. That I like to see new maps be adopted. Right, 91 Labs being played more recently in South Asia has certainly been quite refreshing to see. But also, as much as I disparage Lair as a map, that's more so a personal preference, right? All things considered, the fact that we see more of it is really, really good because it means more variety, it means more team compositions that we don't get to see before, and more importantly, more adaptations, which is the name of the game. A real quick, small correction to the brackets from earlier today, folks, as was pointed out by Madness. The on the 4th spot, you will see that Hexakill versus Deadeye Esports has now been corrected, as it was originally erroneously written that Hexakiller won 2-0. No, it was Deadeye Esports who had won 2-0. With that said, KUIS Esports versus RUE, that's the game we are on tonight. And the map that we're going to be going into later is map number 2. So for those who may have missed it or are joining us just now, map number 1, which was Clubhouse, picked by Team RUE, went their way in a 7-3 fashion. And now we're going into map number 2, which is, of course, Lair. Oh my goodness, the fireworks are going off. But with that said, folks, I think that's going to be where I will be leaving it in just a hot second. And of course, we'll be, leaving it to our beautiful commentators for map number 2, Bullet and Madness. So with that said, best of luck, boys, and I'll be watching you from the sidelines.
Thank you for
so
that,
much,
Blackjack.
Blackjack,
Thank you for
and,
putting your input. Yeah, we're going to see
sir.
this coming. Like the 7-3 over here, Bullet. You were watching the sideline. You give the analysis afterwards. It seemed pretty dominating coming in from RUE. And now KUIS have their pick this layer. Like you're talking about now, it's getting more prominence in the scene. Usually we get to see the same basic chalet, clubhouse. Then we have the cafe, we have consulate. These are the maps that you usually see the rotation. There are a couple of banks here and there. But now Lair coming into it. And Lair is a kind of map that maybe most people haven't been playing that much competitively on. You're not going to get many advantages in tournaments to play this map because most of the time it ends up getting banned out. And now seeing a resurgence, it's up to see what KUIS has in store for us. Given that's their mapping, I'm expecting they have a couple of strats hidden up their sleeve.
Definitely. I am expecting that, as it is going to be the map pick of coming in from the side of KUIS, I'm definitely expecting that a little bit of the different tail. But don't get me wrong, I feel for a second that Lair is kind of like the map where defense side can actually have a little bit of that upper hand advantage, especially when attackers have so many angles to take care of, whether it's the 3rd floor push coming in, or even like if you want to just talk about the basement. Attackers have a very, very limited choice of how they can approach and execute the sites coming in. But now talking about the maps, hey, I just to give you a little bit of history, you just need to thank the Siege Lord over here, or you can thank the Lord Tachanka, or maybe the devs for a reason. Oregon is not in the map pool right now. I can assure you, if Oregon was in the map pool, it is the history in the South Asia Siege Esports that Oregon is the highest, the map which has been the highest number of the picks coming in from any team out there, whether it's been some of the OG teams coming in like Husky Warriors, whether it's been some other teams as well, which I definitely want to take names of. But right now, as we do see the first set of operator bans coming in, Blackbeard and Kaid will be taken care of. On the other hand, the second, one of the most annoying shield guy has also been taken care of, and which kind of like makes sense because we did saw how KUIS were actually able to, I mean both sides were actually able to utilize the shields pretty well. One thing I definitely want to say for a fact that we did saw, I guess it was side of RUE who were able to actually bait 2 times, especially in round number 3 and round number 5 as well. That you have to just make sure that you are not kind of like being so committed to do a 1v1 against a shield when the situation is not favoring your side in terms of the overall manpower advantage. I guess it was round number 4 only, round number 3 only, where one guy was just trying to play on the catwalk. He just tried to like go towards the spawn garage door over there, and he was just immediately caught out by the Capita player over there. So you just don't need to like kind of like just go all in that, hey, if it's a shield, I can just throw him out of the map if I just keep or making the pressure onto him. You have to just make sure that, hey, there is a shield for a reason. The one of the basic key strat from the vanilla siege was that there's always a second guy or a third guy playing behind the shield cover to take you out. But nonetheless, folks, that is enough, I would say, Siege essay history or the analysis for now. We have to just right now just get started with the first round, where you have the RUE starting off with the first side in the defenders.
Yeah, RUE against KUIS. KUIS looking to make, and we have an Oryx actually coming in from Electric, won't mind you. And this time, KUIS will be bringing the IQ. Last time, even though a lot of times Valkyrie was being played, the Valkyrie camps would be kind of, we didn't have an IQ to check for that, but now this time we do. We have a Legion coming out as well in the hands of Cryptic. I'm wanting to see what Electric's going to be doing with this Oryx. There's a lot you can do. There's so many hatches in this. There are a couple of verticality that you can play with according to it, and you can also counter the Osa Shield if you just jump into it, depending on how you want to go about it. And we have a Thatcher for what's a very stable gun as well, and we know what this man can do, especially in clutch situations. He has the capability to create this out, and the pre-play C4 has been neutralized by Cozy. So already the entrance has been made in by KUIS, and this time we see a bit more of a pace compared to what we saw in Clubhouse. But like Bullet has said before, this is one of the bigger maps you're going to come across in Siege X. So there's a lot of space you actually have to take for yourself. We have a lot of cheeky corner angles and corners that you have to make sure nobody is sitting at. And to make matters worse, there's a band that's electrified the wall, so you're gonna have to come in with the Thatcher, with the Thermite, and if it gets tricked, this could be a bit of a problem for KUIS. And you can already see the setups coming in. Bandit's close by to the wall in case this Thatcher comes in, and as soon as the sound comes, I'm expecting him to make his move right here. Yeah, you can see, he just heard it. He's gonna be walking in. He's looking to be putting down a bandit charge. It's going to neutralize the Thermite, and yes, the trick has been done successfully, and that's one Thermite. Actually, both Thermites have been taken out, and Tony Plays actually ends up falling down, but at the same time, Scriptic gets a kill onto Cozy. So trades are coming in galore, but this time at least the breach has been neutralized, has been stopped for the time being.
Yeah, KUIS with a really good player. Like, one of the guys, two of the guys are just trying to make sure that they are getting the breach open, one exterior angle which can be used to make more pressure on. And the guys are just trying to take control of the mezzanine and the usual strat play that you do here in the second floor monster and 6th objective. On the over now, we did saw the first pick coming in from the side of Cryptic. The trade did happen. Good swing from the side of Electric. Sunny goes down. Osa was not able to do anything at the moment as she was holding her talent shield. Now she places up the shield, but they also know for a fact that there's going to be one more guy trying to be on the 90 in the corner. Oryx speaks up, takes in does a little of the damage to the side of the side, swings in. While goes down, Electric goes for another one, and now you have the What's playing as Thatcher left out in a 1v4 spot. Gets one though, 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Might be able to get one more, which is going to be the side of Legion, who is kind of like acting a little bit cheeky, just trying to be a little bit aggressive, but he doesn't know where exactly the player went. And yes, he will go down eventually. 10 seconds left on the clock, a very much a doable state, but times is definitely, the timer is not on his side. And this will be a round win coming in for the side of RUE. No, final pick is going to be coming in there from the side of Shik. And a good, I would say, effort being laid out from the side of Thatcher. In the end, they did try to like open up the hard breach wall up onto the exterior balcony as well. But it's all that trick coming into play. A good prop, I would say a W play coming in from the side of everybody from the side of RUE to kind of like approach in from multiple angles, take control of the mezzanine a hallway over there, then try to just open up the walls towards the mask room. I would definitely say for a fact that maybe one of the guys could have come up from the side of green stairs or try to just take control of the 6th hallway, or maybe try to like also build up a pressure towards the storage. You want to actually put up a kind of like take control of the storage 6th hallway and the 6th room as well, where the site is at. But anyways, it was the first round. Things can be in a kind of like a trial and error method, which is definitely not following in the same way for the side of KUIS. And now we do see RUE going in for the basement support and the lab objective area.
They're going to be taking that for the 7. And Tony Plays yet again going to be back on the Alba. And a Thunderbird going to come for the team. So heals galore for his teammates. Goes for Electrics brought out the Capcans. And this time is when the IQ could have been there to spot it up. But no, it looks like it's going to be switched over to the Grim at the last second. And the only shield remaining of, a big kind of variety is going to be that Monty. And that's going to be coming in the hands of Wild. Mind you, there is no Blackbeard, there is no Blitz. So they're going to be sticking to the Monty this time. And a couple of rounds in attack, we saw KUIS show that they had, the prowess of the objectives to come forward is when they were running shields. So maybe this is what they're going to have to rely on, because the first attack did definitely not go their way. What's them tried to do his best towards the end, but it was at the end of the day of 1 versus 3. He gets another kill, gets a double in that round, but couldn't get the remaining members. So unfortunately, his team goes down. The round has started. 2 minutes and 30 seconds are remaining in the round, depending on how entries are going to be made. Cozy is going to be bringing in they recruit a striker as well. So you're gonna have the double. You have the EMPs, you have the nades in your hands if you want to make any variety. But you've also brought the Thatcher. Not quite sure about this kind of setup coming in for them. But Monty's walked in very calmly, so there's nothing you can do against him. He's going to be picking out, potential targets for his teammate. And they're like both saying, this is, the part of Siege, pretty much Siege 101. Behind your shield, there should always be a member present. So maybe just aim for him instead. And this is maybe where RUE can come out on top. But look at this. This is very fast progress. This is not the kind of moves that we're used to seeing from KUIS Esports. They are trying to play to the kind of tempo that RUE likes to play in the attack, but they are making steady progress further on. Crypto is going to be barricading the door yet again. I'm not quite sure if the side of RUE has inklings that KUIS has walked into the building and has walked in so deep. I think this hit onto the door, the shield sound will be giving away the play.
Yes, sir. At this point of time, I'm not so sure where the captain traps are placed on, as we do have the entire attacking team just making sure that they approach from lockers and the missile hallway, and the control has been kind of like almost in their side. Everybody from the side of defense are kind of locked up in these very particular angles. Electric takes a little bit of that bait though. A small pick right there on the face of Electric. Won't be just getting down, just go down towards the Thunderbird station over there. The Kona healing station will get healed up back to 300 HP. The sides are very much tight. The enclosures spaced are very much, I would say, kind of like falling kind of like on the opposite side for the side of the defensive play. There are no roamers out there. Nobody's trying to flank up from the other end, and this is what kind of like KUIS, RUEs are not able to just make their straight up right. Electric picks the first pick, Cozy goes down, 25 seconds left on the clock. Everybody just trying to play on that peculiar angle just behind the store over there. Insanity tries to pop on a nade, I guess, but he will immediately take it off from Silent State. What his aim gets one. Electric goes down. Turning face by the side of Sony, make it to a 3v2 now. And just getting exposed to the breach. Monty trying to make his play. That goes the shield, gets one. He can also make sure that smoke goes down. Trying to make the impossible shield play happen. That's going to be what's aimed, getting the trade on the smoke. And now you have Sick as Thunderbird in a 1v2 spot. I don't think so that this can be a potential clutch coming in. But if he's able to go plant, Shake actually gets the pick. And now it is going to be the side of RUE. Also getting the second round for himself. Monty should have gotten the plant getting started a little bit early though. But that was a very close play, a very smart play coming in from the side of Thunderbird.
Yeah, he took his time towards the end. 7 seconds on the left on the clock is when he actually tries to make his peak forward. Catches the Monty's teammate off guard, gets the kill onto him. Monty doesn't stick the plant, he gets up instead, tries to go for the trade, but unfortunately time ends up running out. The seconds his shield was de-shielding over the de-equipping, so his pistol can come out, and unfortunately for him it's going to be KUIS going back again. This time it looked like they had the advantage, they got the picks. So the Monty made hero plays as well, gets down a lot of members, uses the shield to effectiveness, gets the alibi, gets 20 plays out of the round more importantly, but even Cryptic Fate could not do much towards the end. But it's Sekip on that Thunderbird coming in clutch, getting a second round from RUE, and they're continuing that momentum of map 1 completely directly into map 2. They are not stopping whatsoever. Benham has actually picked up the Scopus for himself. A lot of creative plays can be made with this operator. Sekip's going to be sticking to the Thunderbird. We have Electric yet again on the Capcan, and this time a switch over. Tony Place is going to be playing Electric. He's going to be playing his Bandit for himself, and for now KUIS was making good entries early on, but the tempo slowed down quite significantly. That's why the time ran out towards the end of the round.
Yep, I would say it was a little bit of that, don't get me wrong, an over-aggression coming in from that one. I guess that was Thatcher in the end. Yeah, that was Thatcher. What's same? I guess he was playing in, yeah, he was playing as Thatcher on the second round as well. So might not have just been a little bit cheeky to just take a peek on the Thunderbird. He knew for a fact that he definitely didn't have the information where Thunderbird was holding the angle on, but he definitely had the information that it's going to be a 1v2 man advantage coming in from his side. He would have just like taken a decision to play on that post plant scenario, but this is where kind of like the siege mentality gets in the play. That what exactly your decision making process looks like in these very tactical and very hot, tense situations. But right now, folks, as the objective side is going to be on the first floor, not exactly the middle floor, I want to call it out, because you have the roof as well in this game. But no, Insanity gets the first pick, and Electric goes down. One of the key fraggers goes down from the side of RU.
Oh,
Heartbeat
no.
gets open, and before that, Insanity gets one more. Might be the trade, not exactly. Shake gets the side of Cozy, making it to a 3v4 very early into the round with 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, another
what?
pickup coming on to Cryptic Fake. That's what's aim going to be making out for himself. And Totems actually had gone for the bandit trick. That's what he ended up going down to. He got knocked down by the thermite charge, blasting open into his face. And in a matter of seconds, complete turnaround. Please, in the driving seat, 4:2 members available. Sekib and Venom, a mountain to climb. Venom's already putting one step forward onto that man. Gets the first kill onto what's aim. Now looking to make his own rotation, make the change in position for himself. But look at Sekib. He's crawling into the hallway. Gonna catch off guard onto Sunny, and Benham's also going to catch onto Insanity as well. Only Wild remains, only the Thermite with himself, and that mountain to climb has been climbed by RUE. They have made everything possible for themselves. Grab the man advantage now. Thermite in a tough spot. Pre-fire is coming in from second from the staircase. Vertical play coming in from Venom, looking for his target, looking for his prey, not being able to catch onto anything. Thermite has to think about two angles, going for the plant, going for the tap. The sound comes in, and you can see Sakib making his idle over. Is going to give the sound effect, gets it off, and the bait comes in. The swing comes in from the Thermite straight in to the crosses of Sakib. Instant pickup, a nice pre-fire at the end of the day. And this Thunderbird doing work for RUE as they secured their third round in a row.
Yes, and this was also like a more of like a very quick play kind of approach coming in from Syracuse. They were able to actually almost, I would say, almost get up the side control on their side, but as soon as the Thatcher went down, I didn't saw much of the progress being done in terms of the gunfight. It's also not exactly about the gunfight this time around. It I would say for the third round, I will give it to the side of RUE, because even though one of the top fraggers, Electric, went down, the entire round state, from my opinion, I thought for a second that will be kind of like changed up, and KUIS will be the team to take down the side of RUE. They might get their very first round victory up in round number 3, but that was not exactly the case. We did saw Cryptic and Sake Deem stepping up to pave the gap for the side Reflector in terms of taking those frag numbers from their team. But right now, folks, as we will be stepping into round number 4, and I guess this is going to be another second floor. Yeah, it's going to be the second floor objective getting picked up, which is again going to be the side of Master and the Rainbow 6 room, which according to the lore, if I'm not wrong, chat, please correct me if I am, this is the master plan room for the insane villain that you have in this game. That is, of course, the side of Demas.
Could be very possibly so. And Fenrir is going to be setting up things better, but actually going to be changing up. So you have a Fenrir, you have the Valkyrie available. Turning this switch over to Jaeger instead. So no 3-speed operators coming from RUE that we tend to see a vision of them getting killed. So then the Bravo switch over from Sunny, maybe at the last minute. That's exactly what's going to happen. Cozy is going to come into the 2H. Going to be looking to take some devices. And if Fenrirs get hacked by this Bravo drone, this could be spelling design for RUE. They have to be a bit careful about it. Insanity is going to be yet again running the Thermite, running that support. What's aim again on the Thatcher. But the change in sight is the main priority. The complete rotation has been done by RUE. They're going to come back yet again to the top floor. And the secondary bands that had come in were that Monty, were that the Bandit. So now, at least this time, he's not going to get Bandit. Insanity doesn't have to worry about that whatsoever. The Kite's been banned out, the Bandit's been banned out, so he can go for it very easily for himself. In terms of now, all shields being banned out by RUE, they just don't want to deal with shields. Without shields, they think they can do a lot, and that means, and that does show, because in the bottom side, KUIS had their prowess for themselves where they come in. This is Monty that ended up being the player, and this time the doors will be open. Sunny actually gets the kill on Tony. Tony not expecting. Cozy gets another onto Cryptic in a matter of seconds. 2 members down from the side of RUE, and it looks like KUIS is looking to notch their first here for themselves in terms of round in map number 2. They're looking for even more picks. Not going to be walking in. You can hear the heals coming in, but no. And right now, the charge should not be coming in for himself. He's looking like he gets a drone for himself. He has been spotted out, so he's going for a reposition of himself. 1 minute, 50 seconds left on the clock. But look at the patience Cozy has. Holding that ankle, waiting for the Fenrir to walk in. But instead, drone's going to be done. That's the due diligence being paid over there. You're going to have to, drone out, get the positions for yourself, especially with the man advantage. 5 versus 4 against 2, short range SMGs, depending on how you go for the MP7. And Hands of Electric can do a lot. Venom, we've known to show time and time again what he can do. And that's exactly what he's going to do. The C4 from downtown gets the kill onto Cozy, trying to reduce some of those numbers. At least makes it a 3 versus 4 for the side of RUE. That's the Twitch Eliminator, but most of his job was already done. It's now up to see what else they can do. Sakib looking for this side. Venom looking for another pick. The smokes are going to delay the timer, but there's still 1 minute left, and then you only have 2 smokes available to Sakib. Oh, the angle comes in, but this is an Osa shield. They're going to spot that out. Osa couldn't get the pick up instead. 1 minute left to see what these two teams can do in this situation.
Love the patience gameplay coming in from the side of KUIS, but not gonna happen more. Bedam gets the first pick, Foxy gets the second. Why is everybody pushing from the same angle? Dude! Vertical play happens, but that was something else. Sony gets one, Sony gets a double, Shake goes down, 1v2 now. And now it is going to be Electric left out as a Fenrir. Possibly those Dreadnought mines can actually help him out though, but not exactly the same. The diffuse is about to get planted down in the same corner, in the default plant stage. He gets the information on the hallway, possibly goes for the free fire. Damage gets taken though. Sony is on 50% HP, he doesn't have any C4, and that's a problem with Fenrir. His Dreadnought mines are way too superior, but you don't have any secondary utility to play with. Gets the first pick. Possibly looking for another pre-fire. He has to make the play happen in the next 10 seconds or he will not have the time to go for the defuse. Trying to fake it, counter defuse is on, goes for the second fake. He's trying to stick it out this time. He gets the third fake. He actually makes him to push. He gets the pick. A clutch coming in from the side of Electric as Fender. And this is why you actually say that sometimes around pros needs to fake.
And this is Wild. It's because Wild had backed away so much. He was anticipating the push coming in, and by the time he realizes this, he's so far away that he has to run in. His gun is not ADS, so that's going to be the advantage of Fender. And very smartly, he double tapped it, right? So it gives it the sound that's going to be continuing going on, and that fake catches out at the end of the day. Gets the 4th round for RUE. Is looking a bit tricky towards the end. 1 versus 2, the clutch will coming with Electric coming out on top, with RUE coming out on top, and it looks like the alibi is going to shift yet again from a different player in the team of RUE. It's going to be this time in the hands of Venom. Venom is actually a big factor in how the numbers game got kind of equalized early in the round with that Valkyrie, with that angle that he had held. Got 2 from that angle, got a triple kill, almost a triple. The third kill he got, it was a bit dicey in this, and that's why he lost a lot of HP in that, but he had done his job for his team, and the Electric is there for the cleanup, for him getting that 1 versus 2, for RUE to show that this is their game, this is their world, and KUIS is just living in it right now.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, folks. That again, the last one was something which was kind of like
10 seconds left.
given away to the side of RUE, but I don't know how to
5 seconds left.
make the entire thing look presentable, because KUIS got that entire plant in a very, very I would not like to say methodical, but in a very skeptical way, to be frankly speaking. The time was kind of like just 25 seconds or 30 seconds. Honestly, apologies, that 15 seconds left on the clock. Before that, we did saw everybody just trying to push down from the same default heartbeats that they opened up, and 2 kills were just being kind of like given away from the start of when I was playing in with Valkyrie. So there we go, KUIS tries to make an entry. Tony goes down, Shake gets the pick on Cozy. A trade is something exactly perfectly being done from both sides as the starting of the round number 5 looks like. Trying to pick up an entry from the side of the docks area, but right now it's really good to see KUIS making sure that the trade goes very well into their favor as well.
Yeah, the 1-for-1 coming out of the end of the day. That's a Tachanka actually picking up the map for RUE. That's a guy who can delay the plant later on, can delay a lot of entryways. So that's been taken off the board is going to be very helpful for them. And so the strike on the other hand from the side of KUIS Esports, right? So now that double nade, the double EMPs won't be coming in. I don't think we have actually we do have EMPs in the hands of what is aimed on that Grim, and the Grim gadget's going to be deployed. The bees are going to do their job, going to secure some space for themselves. And now you can see Sandstorm creeping. Has to be careful because he is the only hard breach, honestly, for his team. Sakib, for his trade, did actually end up taking quite a beating, almost at the 50 HP mark for himself. Venom should be also be looking for these roams and this angle. Sakib, if he comes out clutch, could be huge for his team. The free fire is coming in, not going to connect. Instead, Sakib ends up taking a couple of bullets to the knees at the end of the day. The breach will be coming out. You can't deny it. There is no electric. There is nothing you can do. The breach has been opened up. 1 minute, 20 seconds left for KUIS Esports to make their mark in map number 2. Because as of yet, it has fallen a bit shallow. The shotgun just around the corner. This might be Wild walking into something he doesn't want to. The Bravo drone spots out at the last second, not going to take any chance of cryptic shots. Shoots that one down. The smoke gets used, buying even more time. So if the chunk is out of the board, the smoke is there to buy your time, and he has a one more canister to do quite. So Sunny's also low on HP, but they're just holding this door. They're waiting for KUIS to make it. Sorry, for the side of RUE to make it. KUIS trying to run in, and the last smoke canister has been used. The last bit of delay that RUE can look for has been burnt through, and now you can see the barbed wire actually placed at a very late part of the game. Interesting play coming in from Cryptic Fate. Now Drone looking for the peak, goes for the swing. Unfortunately, Insanity was absolutely ready, but Insanity was not ready for the second man. Just gonna, thank God, Tracy, that he was not picked up. In the meantime, Venom gets the kill onto Wild. It's a 3 versus 3, and that's Venom on the elevator. That is still alive. Grim trying to, zone out areas, trying to zone out the opponents. Electric gets another kill onto Sunny. It's a 3 versus 2. The plant's going down from what is aimed, but can he be covered? He's getting a couple of bullets. Insanity gets the return frag onto Electric. Triple kill comes in, and Insanity gets a last one as well. So that is the Thermite coming in clutch, but not enough because the plant was interrupted. The Grim ends up going down. He had gone for the first plant, didn't trust his teammate the first time. He catched a couple of straight bullets, got up from the plant, and that's why plant did not go through. The second time, not so lucky. Anyway, low on HP. Anyway, gets taken down, and that's RUE just scraping by. But does it even matter? There are 5 rounds. We're 5 rounds into map 2, and all 5 rounds have gone over to RUE.
I'm not really sure how they got the information on the Grim planting on the exact spot, because that is not a default plant on the stove right here. But I guess they had a Valkyrie in the last round, if I'm not wrong. No, I guess they didn't. Probably that was a bulletproof camera from someone from the side of defending team was placed up in one of those corners. But we'll find about that, folks, because that was a pre-fire was not expected in that specific angle. But anyways, of course, that is something that we will get to know about pretty soon, though, because again, this is round number 6. It is 5-0 now. RUE are still in the driving seat at the moment. Hey, not really sure about the driving speed, but they're definitely making sure that they are the first team to cross the finish line, because the first map has already been taken care of from the side of RUE. In a scoreline of 7-3, and as you know, folks, 7-3 is a very, very dominating map play coming in terms of the overall score on the first map, which was against the side of Clubhouse. As KUIS has picked up this map on their own map pick to play upon. Again, this is not exactly the scoreline which you want to see in someone's own map pick, but we have seen much more, I would say, better plays compared to what we saw from the side of KUIS in the very first game. Yes, their entry is something that is really good. Of course, the trade game is absolutely done on point. But overall, just making sure that they are playing with the respect to the giving the respect to the timer and the time running out from the entire round is something that they need to take care of. In so many instances, Madness, we have seen them going in for the plant in the last 20 seconds, them going in for the side execution in the last 30 seconds. There we go. The first pick comes up from the side of Cozy, who has definitely had the information from the side for the side of Cupcan, who is just making sure that he gets the runaway being done. Almost a cheeky play from both sides. Now they have the information on Warden. Then you have also possibly Electric coming in for the flank, but Shake gets the first pick on Koji, and now making it 4-4. Oh, a pre-fire comes up. Nah, Sonny will make sure that it goes down. Back-to-back picks coming in from KUIS, though, and this time around, KUIS is definitely not going to forgive anybody from the side of RUE, and with back-to-back picks, and now it is going to be a 1v4 for the side of KUIS.
Oh, make it a 1v3, make it a 3v none, because the perfect defense have for RUE's hopes have been dashed by KUIS Esports as they pick up their first round of map number 2, albeit at a very later stage in the map. But I think they'll take a 1-5 over 0-6 any day. They're going to be happy at least they get this round, and they did a pretty good job, right? At the end, it was a 1 versus 4, so they made quick work. The entry coming in at a very fast pace. Cozy picking up couple of kills for himself, was doing quite comfortably, and now we see the bans coming in as the halftime has been reached. It's going to be the Kite, the Ace, and the usual shenanigans being taken completely out of it. As of yet, no shields actually getting banned. I'm expecting the side of QEs to maybe ban out another shield, or are they expecting RUE not to just play with that? That could be something that could be playing on their minds, and it looks to be exactly like, because both electrics taken out from RUE and 2 hard breachers taking out from the side, from the side of RUE, and two both electrics taken from the side of QEs. So we're going to see, hard breacher electric battles coming up time and time again, but the shields have been left open, and that's exactly what Venom's going to pounce on. He's going to be picking up the blitz for himself, and a Flores, an operator we haven't seen make an appearance as of yet in semi-final number 1, will be making his mark if no further changes occur. And more importantly, Amira shall be brought out from the side of KUIS Esports as they make their way over into the second half. They have a pretty big hill to climb. It's nothing short of a miracle if they have to make up, given the form that RUE has presented, and we know how aggressive RUE can be in their attacking half.
Let's see, man. At this point of time, QUIS is now being in the defense. I mean, we have seen QUIS actually putting up some good effort in the very first map as well. Those 2 rounds, we did saw them winning in the defense only. So might be in the first map of Clubhouse. But again, both perspectives comes out. It's their own map pick. Maybe they might play better in the second half. And and I have said that many times since the beginning of the broadcast. Layer is that one of the maps for the defensive team to play in a very methodical and a very creative way, especially in this game of the entire competitive play. And actually, you take a look at the operator picks, right? We have Ella. Ella will make sure that they get up the first intel if anyone is trying to push on to some of the very unusual angles if those Grismod mines are placed up in the right sides. Then you have the Mira, of course, the usual play. Then you have Azami combined with the Suya gate coming in from the side of Cozy's operator. So Aruni. So in terms of the operator picks, which was a little bit skeptical in the first map, QUIS is definitely looking on point. All they need to do is just make sure that they waste on the time of the attackers, which can only happen when you have good roamers doing their job. And to counter those roamers, we do see Electrical going for Demos and already making sure that map play happens. While goes down, making Super 5v4. But Cozy also makes sure that he gets the first pick on Tony. And somebody was just trying to make up that Bliss play, but he was completely being taken care of with the pick coming in from the side of Aruni.
Yeah, Sony gets the kill onto Venom. Venom was trying to make a last-ditch effort charge. He was spotted out, using quite a bit of damage. The shots coming. Cozy connects onto Cryptifade, looking for another, gets another as well. A triple kill coming in for the side of Cozy, for the side of QUIS, and it's only Electric. It's only the Demos, and the shotgun unfortunately from that Regigian shot would have knocked off the kill. Sonic closes out the round for his team, and KUIS Esports building up the momentum from that last round of the defense of their attacking half will be picking up their first defensive win. And that's what we're talking about with the defensive, with these kind of plays they can make. This can spell disaster for the RUE. RUE gets a very good pickup early on with the Demos, with Venom getting that first click pick up, but after that there is just no more pressure coming in. The trades are coming, the answers are not coming back in time from the side of RUE. QUIS does a lot, and now they're even bringing out the Denari as well. Let's see what's in store. And you have so many traps over there. You have the Goyo, you have the Kapkan, you have the Legion mines as well, plus with the Denari, and then you have the Black Eye Camps, just for understanding where everyone's at every part. So I think this is the part where QUIS is ready for. This is why they picked up the map. It's for their defensive half.
Don't get me wrong, the entire meta of Siege right now, from even like a global meta per se, I don't want to restrict it for a region. The entire meta is favoring the run and gun meta. You just need 3 best aim shooters, in my opinion, and then you need just one IGL. Of course, that one guy can play in as the flex or the support because it's a 5-man game. You just need that one IGL who can just keep everybody in control, just making sure they are just not giving it away in terms of just taking those gunfire. You just need 3 sharpshooters with that one IGL who can just make it work out in terms of taking the decision play. Right now, from what it looks like, definitely yes, RU is that team who are able to get the best of it in this kind of meta. And to just counter the entire thing out, QUIS has the best operator lined up for operator chemistry going on from this side. They have Legion, they have the Kapkan, of course they have Denari. Some might say for the fact that they are definitely not playing that Siege. The strat play is not happening. Bro, this is the strat. If you're not able to win those gunfights from the defensive side, you pick up those trap operators, you play on that trap meta, and you make sure attackers are just wasting their time out to take those trap and the secondary utilities first before they can approach the gunfight.
Exactly. Yeah. So, Zeki gets picked out by Wild on the other side. Zero taken off. Not many cams, I think, deployed for him. He's one of their top fraggers as well for the side of RUE. He was 8 and 4 as of yet. And that's quick work made up by the Capcan getting the pick. A lot of pre-fires coming in from 20 players not connecting. Oh, the walker comes in. That's not the way you honestly want to walk into the angle from the side of Cozy, but just showing your body first before you can even see the other opponent. And that's going to be taking complete advantage by Cozy. So the pre-fires actually bait the Denari to walk up closer, making equalizer numbers. But Insanity in a delayed trade gets the pick up on to the Sophia. So now a 4 versus 3 in favor of KUIS. And Insanity gets another. That's going to be Venom, the beneficiary of that bullet to the head. Sunny gets a kill onto Electric. Only Cryptic Fate is left alive. KUIS Esports bringing back into life in map number 2 in the second half. Cryptic Fate, nice flick, nice amount of control. This one onto what is Aim's head, and he picks up first. But it's a 1 versus 3 that he finds himself into. There's a person looking at the corner. He has an idea of the Legion Mine, gets activated. The sound cue should have gone on to Insanity. So Insanity is going to be glued on this corner, holding the angle. Let's see if he's going to make a misstep, or let's see who actually goes for it. Because there's a bullet camera on the wall. But in the meantime, Insanity going to make short work of the last attacker. Nice little angle create for himself. Not at all expected from the side of RUE. KUIS Esports gets their third round, and they are getting closer and closer to narrowing the gap.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about. They just need to play on that trap meta and make sure that, of course, the attacker space most of the time is just dealing with the entire, trap just getting taken out with its the usual bullets getting fired upon those secondary utilities, or you use your own secondary utilities to take out those utilities from the defense. But also, it's great to see QS actually adapting to the entire scenario pretty well. Exactly, I just want to put it that way. But to exactly say that they are adapting to the entire scenario pretty well, I might kind of say it a little bit soon. This is 5-3. If this was 5-4, yes, I would have stated the fact that if they make it to 5-4, I would have definitely stated the fact that yes, they are slowly getting there. But still, having the 2-round advantage can make things a little bit worse for the side of QS, because RUE, trust me, dude, are very much still in the control. I really want to ask them, folks, what is the full form of RUE in this team, folks? If anybody in the chat knows, please make sure to let us know. But for side of Qs, they are going in for the middle floor, the first floor site that we do have in this map, which is going to be the side of the bunks and the briefing. Oh, sorry, the maintenance and the armory. And this is one of those sites where you can actually, as a defense, you don't have a lot of that space, as the same goes in the basement one. So we might see some 3 or maybe even 4 of these operators roaming in the second floor to deny the vertical control coming in from these attackers.
Yeah, and you can see that's why they brought in the ramp from the side of RUE. They want to open up the verticality. That's what they're going to clear out together. They've even brought in the Nomad to watch their backstab for themselves, who's making his own little bit of rotation. The droning is being done currently. Insanity is also roaming up around here. You already see 3 members from the side of KUIS Esports actually are here for the roam, albeit for the side of the Legion and the Mute, who are on one, and everybody else is up top. But the hatches are going to start opening up. I don't see an answer. Electric even gets a kill on to Cozy, one of the roamers up there. There's only 2 members left up top. It's going to be the Ella and the Jaeger, and the Jaeger might get spotted out. A pre-fire coming in, a bit suspicious, but Electric gets another kill on Sony. That was a bit of... but Cryptic, in the meantime, gets a kill on to Insanity. It's a 4 versus 2 from the side of RUE. Only Qs has 2 members alive. Their momentum is being slowed down. That 3 rounds that they got back to back is being put back into, stoppage point. It's going to decelerate the kind of momentum build it up. The verticality is there. There's nobody else roaming up. You actually have Wild who's looking up, but the Nomad will be spotting up. The sound cue comes in. Only what is aim is on the side, and Wild is holding the angle, watching if anyone's going to come back and clear this for himself. He has the shotgun, going to try and open up the hatch to create a rotation, gets a nice angle up on top of the desk. I don't think anyone's going to swing onto him. They're going to be instead going to drone it out, play it on the safer side. In the meantime, what is aim has been left solely by himself on side and is taken down. A while in a 1 versus 4. Not much can be done for him, and Tony Play is going to make short work of it from above, and that being over this side. You can see he's gone for that, but yeah, Wild was looking to catch out onto the ramp, but Ramp completely aware where the Mute is, takes him out, takes another round for the side of RUE, putting them on map point as well as series point.
Yes, sir. And this is kind of something that I was kind of expecting, kind of like semi expecting and semi not
Hmm.
expecting. Trust me, that is not a word, and I just like made it up in the air. But at this point of time, I was expecting a little bit more from the side of QS. This is exactly the same storyline in terms of the round score that was the fate in their map number one as well. But at this point of time, I was expecting again a little bit more from side of QS because it is going to be their own mapping. Don't get me wrong; they're able to slowly and steadily adapt to it. But are you now being in the map point scenario, actually a series point scenario? Things can be very, very pressure mounting for the side of queues. Now, coming back to the fact that RUE are just now being the team to make sure that they are ending up this entire series as soon as possible. We did saw them doing exactly the same in the round number 8 or 9 as well. Yeah, in round number 8. Now in the last round as well, we did saw them doing the same. Finca combined with the play coming in with Hibana. Then you had Demus as well. Of course, Ash was not there. We had the newer, the guy with the girl with the Boogie drone that was there. But for now, it is going to be the kind of like the same fast steady approach that they will just try to take control of the overall
10 seconds remaining.
blue stairs or the blue hallway. Sorry, on the upon towards the second floor and towards the blue
Five
stairs and the
seconds
beige
remaining.
hallway. Might push from the courtyard balcony, which is a little bit of a different take. But if not, it's going to be again the server control, then trying to take control of the mezzanine, then try to take control of the gallery, the south balcony, and just make sure that they get those gunfights and get those picks right. Because this is a 6-3 match point, and they did exactly the same, but of course in a different, the objective side in the last round.
Yeah. Okay. And heading into this is Cozy getting a nice first kill from the spawn peak onto Tony Plays. That's going to be the Finca down and out for the count at least for round number 10. And now only default cams are going to go down. But this is Cozy. This is what Cozy loves to do on this Arumi. He likes to take those long range fights, tries to get those. He even had 3 first bloods in map number 1 for himself. So he's kind of their side's entry factor and trying to get, kind of that man advantage for themselves. But now the drones will come in. Now you're going to do this for the side of RUE. You still have your breacher, you still have your blitz available to yourself. The Twitch should be looking to, zap around, try and open up some of these mirrors. There's not even a mute to stop it down. But in the meantime, Venom's taking quite a bit of damage. Cozy gets another. Cozy gets a third. Insanity.
Oh, nice.
Rounding it down. And only Sakib is left alive from the side of RUE. And in a minute, like in a couple of seconds, 4 members down and out for the count for the side of RUE. Only Tony Plays was actually the member who got out earlier on. But Cozy is not done. Cozy was looking for more, but Sakib will pay the man who was greedy for more kills. Make sure that he ends up regretting that decision. But Sakib's on very low HP. 1 versus 4. I don't think they can do much except maybe buy time, maybe rethink your strategy heading in to the next round, because you have 2 more opportunities to play around with if Sakib can't end up closing this one out. And that is what it is looking very likely, because even until now, none of the mirrors have been opened up. The Twitch, unfortunately, cannot do much. They're just biding the time as Q is inside. I would have expected them to take some more pressure, take some more space for themselves. Deny Sakib from even coming out, but this is the kind of respect that Quiz is paying to the side of Arya. This is the kind of respect you have to pay when you are on the other side of the match point, on the losing side. So you have to be cautious about every single type of gunfight you're going to be taking. But Cozy came up huge in this round, got 3 frags to himself, was even looking for the third, and almost even ended up getting that kill onto Sakib, honestly, at the end of the day. And Sakib going to walk in, the friend here, the F-Nat's going to be catching him out. He can't even shoot it down as of yet. He's playing a bit blindly. He's still kind of looking for it, and the C4 is prepped in the hands of Wild. He's not going to end up picking up. So has to use actually the Twitch drone at the end of the day to get the F-Nat. Sakib with the pre-fires, but you're low HP. You usually don't end up winning on this side. Actually gets the knock onto Sunny as he's jumping down, trying to vault over that railing. He falls down as a downed body over there. No one's even looking to pick him up. Instead, they're trying to close out the round from the side of Keys. The shotgun is ready, but before that, what is aim will strike, and what is aim will strike, rightfully so, onto Sakib. Sakib down out for the count, and now 4 rounds to the name of the side of Keys. They are trying to put some fight back in. This is still match point for RUE, still series point for them.
Yes, sir. And curious. Now I have to give them that insanity and cozy. Of course, gotta give full credit to the side of Wild as well, coming in with those back-to-back picks. in the last round is something that we really, really needed. Round number 10 coming into their favor, and this is what they kind of like needed. The entire momentum play was completely being shifted to the side of RUE. In a best of three scenario, momentum play uh, makes up a very big impact in such scenario cases where we have already lost the first map. In the second map, we're still struggling to kind of like deal with the entire attacking team, especially in the gunfight scenarios. But right now, with the 6-4, still 2-round advantage being done to RU. That the problem is that they are in the series pointer. For on how the last round like kind of like played out for the side of KUS and how they kind of played it, I would definitely want to see them making more positive progress in this round number 11. Slowly and steadily getting there, but again, the only boulder in this entire, I would say, progress pathway is the fact that
10 seconds left.
RUE are on a series pointer.
Yeah, that's a big
5
fight coming
seconds
in,
remaining.
and we've gone back down to the basement from the side of KUIS Esports. We have a
Attackers'
Mossy
objective
actually
is
going to
to
be
locate
making
a
an
bomb
appearance,
and
trying to get some drones for himself. Insanity is going to be on the Legion. We still have Cozy on his favorite Arumi, and Sunny's going to be warning the ward in case too many flashes come in, too many smokes. He's going to be able to peek through it. Talking side of RUE, we have a Flores making an appearance as well. Tony Play is going to stick to the Sophia that he likes to play as well. Electric going to be on the Finca. We've seen a couple of times Electric getting caught out earlier on, and that's not kind of what you want to be seeing from your Finca, who you need those boosts on later on. You even get HP back as well. Venom going to be making the drop, going to be showing off his drops as well coming in. But we're taking a bit on the slower side, and this is them. Actually, for their pace, playing it definitely on the slower side. They want to end it out over here. They don't want to be on overtime point, basically. They want to be a 6-5. They want to close out this map over here. There anyway. You can already hear the secondary heart breacher being activated by Venom. He's going to be opening up 2 separate holes, so you have to be very careful if you are Cozy. But Cozy is known to flourish in these kind of locations, these kinds of gunfights. He's even looking for this peak. He's going to be swinging in. The drone's going to spot him out, but Tony plays his play, gets completely foiled with that Legion trap over there that Goo Mind will be putting out his position if some views will be coming out. And now you have the finger sharp, but Tony Play still gets the kill onto Cozy, who's looking to maybe get a pick through those hard breached kind of walls, those small holes that have been opened up. So man advantage for the side of RU, and KUIS' member Cozy, the man who usually tries to take it, is the one who's down and out for the count. Now RUE steadily but surely making their way up. You can see what is him. He's trying to get away, but he's being pushed into a corner. If they capitalize on this, could be hard for them. But in the meantime, Electric gets killed onto Insanity. It's a 5 versus 3 from RU. It's raining down terror on the side of KUIS Esports, but Sunny is there. Sunny is going to fight back onto Sakim. Sunny picks up another, but Cryptic in the meantime answers back onto what's his name. And now Sunny goes down as well with the hand of Venom. It's a 4 versus 1. It's wild. Against the world. Can this Capcom come on top? He's looking for the answer, but Electric still actually comes out on top of that gunning stage. Didn't look like it was possible, but Electric makes sure. Bit of haphazard spray, but still connects squarely onto the dome of his opponent. This time, KUIS Esports got one more round than map number 1, but it was all for naught. Both maps going over to the hands of RUE. They will be your champions in semifinal number 1 and quarterfinal number 2.
Yes, sir. The winners of the semifinal. Not yet the champions. We'll have to wait for that. But yeah, I gotta give it to the side of Cryptic and Tony, and of course the main man himself, Electric. Of course, the whole credit goes to everybody on how their entire playing fight was looking like. But gotta give it to the side of Electric. He was electrifying in some of these really good first picks, and even in some of the trades that was very much kind of like needed, especially to keep the entire team of RUE to be in the driving seat for the most number of rounds. Again, for the side of KU, again, I would say the same fact that I was expecting a little bit more as it was their own map pick, but it is what it is at this point in time. RUE definitely the better team in the second map as well. And of course, we have the Blackjack back again. Now, him being the analyst.
Absolutely, folks. And I gotta say, all things considered, I liked the little bit of extra resistance I saw from KUIS. They showed signs of life. They showed, especially when they were on the defense, a lot of active defense coming out from them. They were playing a lot of forward positions. They were playing a lot, especially on the basement, right? We had them playing Battle Room into, I believe that's called either Warehouse or Scuba Room. I'm not sure. The big one where we had the secondary hard breaches going off all the time. Again, can you tell I don't cast Lair a lot? But, all the jokes aside, I love that they kept playing that room. I love that that was such a common feature of both teams on this map, right? Because that is such an easy route for the attackers to gain access to so quickly. You normally never see that wall get breached, especially in situations where that this map of Lair isn't played very frequently, right? But then also going to Team RUE's defenses, I like how they kind of steadily increased the pressure of how they were playing the first half, because they started off pretty turtle holdish, right? They were playing in the site in round 1 and 2. They barely had any roam. They barely went out of the site or did much of anything really, other than sit in site and wait for the attackers to come to them. But then around about round number 4, you started seeing roamers come out. You started seeing lurking happen. You started seeing a little bit more active defense. And then round number 5, they were so aggressive on that basement site, although a little too aggressive, because then in round 6, it kind of came back to bite them in the backside, and KUIS took their first round. Little did they know it would be one of the next 4. And I gotta say, like I said, KUIS, a lot of fight coming out from them tonight in this second match specifically. They definitely have a lot of but a lot of knowledge about Lair. I think it just comes down to the individual gunfights. And definitely one highlight that I do want to point out before I pass it back to you guys is that late round flank that happened in one of RUE's defense round number 3, that is, right?
Yes.
When it was on first floor, bunk room. They were, 2v4 down, if I remember correctly, and
2v4,
both
yeah.
the Osa, not the Osa, both the Scopus and the other defender, I think Thunderbird, decided to go for a late round flank, going to the second floor, using the verticality against them. Chef's kiss play.
And of course, this is why you have kind of like the Scopus. Of course, you do have the little bots that you can just kind of like interchange given at any time. Which, remember, when that Scopus, not exactly the guy, but when the Scopus came out in the entire game, the entire community was like, is this actually a double HP advantage being given away to him? No, that's exactly not the case. If any one of the robots is being taken care of, you just cannot take control of the second one as well. And this is why you have Scopus and kind of like the balance meta, where you have some of the teams in the competitive play of the global stage in the siege as well utilize Scopus in an absolute menace way, and then you have some of the teams just making sure that they play sometimes around, or even if they don't pick it at any given time in the entire pro stat.
Yeah, and also I think from the side of KUIS, taking away the shields is a big blow to their attack half, because
Yes.
that's what they like to do a lot, right? They like to bring the shields, and there's 3 shield bans coming in from the side of RUE. They don't want to deal with that nonsense whatsoever. So that's them showing the proactiveness and how it's going on. I like the gunfights coming out from the side of RUE. There's so many times they're coming out, but the answer was coming back in the form of Cozy from the side of KUIS Esports. Like, Cozy was the man who was just trying his best, his level best, to try and get these early frags for himself. And a couple of rounds that he was just doing amazing on the Rumi. There's nothing that you can fault this man much for what he tried. Even what is it, maybe not in map number 2, in map number 1 also came in a couple of times clutch for his side. But yeah, at the end of the day, overall, you have to kind of agree that RUE definitely were the better team in this matchup.
Yeah. For now, folks, let's take a look at some of the stat numbers. There's somebody coming in for the second map. And last time I did see for the fact that, of course, by looking just at the cost percentage, you can see the difference coming in from both sides. But we got to give it away again to the side of Insanity and Cozy. 10 to 12, 11 to 7 in their own team. Except for both of these two, everybody is in the negative KD. But take a look on towards the winning team. Scape with 10 to 6, Electric with 11 frags, Tony with 4, Cryptic with 5, and Benam 91 with 8 to 6.
That's a lot coming in for them, and this time it's Sakib actually the one, Sakib and Electric, the guys who are slightly lower on the kill marks maybe in map number 1, who came in and put in a performance in map number 2. So that's just showing you the balance of their team. With a couple of members are coming down, the other members are going to be picking it up. But on the side, talking about KUIS, right, this is what I'm talking about. Cozy, he's the man trying so desperately for these earlier fights. This time he was successful 4 times and unsuccessful at least 3 of those times. But he's the guy who's trying to take the initiative. He gets someone playing alongside with him to create some effort. I think the roaming of KUIS can be improved so much more, because Cozy is already trying to take it down that part. If he gets a bit of more support or gets somebody helping him out, this could change a lot about how the playstyle is from the boys from Maldives. It can change out how much it goes plays for this. But even Electric coming out pretty good. Like, he gets 3 opening frags with this Finca. Every time you see him, he's just spamming away with the bullets, and it still ends up hitting the heads of his opponents.
Yeah, and I think to that end, going back to Cozy here, the 4-3 entry, a lot of that did also happen in the second half, specifically playing the
Mhm.
Aruni in second floor, right? That balcony entry doorway was pretty much his domain. You could not get past Cozy, like, at all. No matter how hard Rue tried, Rue tried. Oh, that's a tongue twister. But no matter how hard they tried, they just could not get through it, right? But that's just the map statistics of a layer, folks. Let's have a look at the statistics for the entire matchup so far, which of course will give us the wider picture for this particular matchup. And of course, once again, cost percentages, yes, there is a difference, but you can see how map number 2 layer definitely evened it out just a little bit, right? You've got a lot of 66 percentages on the side of KUIS, especially through Insanity, Sunny, and What is Aim, which of course matches some of the 66 and 60 percentages of Cryptic, Sekib, and Tony. And I am interested in the fact that Tony ended up, kind of averaging out at a 0.82 rating, because again, that's just the difference between how they played in map 1 and map 2. Map 1, Tony, absolute menace. Put him on alibi and just let him do whatever the hell he wants, right? Map 2, Tony,
Yeah.
much more subdued, much more on the back foot, much more content with playing support roles. But that was because, of course, Sekib came around, and that's why Sekib's statistics are so very similar to Tony's in many aspects, because Sekib in map 1 was doing what Tony was doing in map 2, and that's what I like about RUE. They are a very, very flexible team, and tonight has certainly proven that.
Definitely. And for now, folks, we will be getting into a small interview segment from one of the players from QS, which is going to be the side of Cozy. Now, look at Cozy. He has went in 18 to 24. I would say definitely a decent kind of like the frag picks coming in, as of course he was the guy playing a little bit of the flex and the support role, but also talking about some of the other guys, Cryptic and Bana from the other team as well. They were absolutely making sure that they are the guys who are getting those elimination numbers in the very first game, very first map as well, which happened on the clubhouse. So I would say an overall it was a decent game, but again, I was expecting a little bit more from the side of Qs.
Even Qs though right now they've been knocked out, but they're gonna have maybe another advantage later on against playoffs, because in the playoffs against the same team. Because manager guys, these are all four teams that are qualified. Semifinal 1, Semifinal 2, all four of these teams have qualified, and Qs will also be playing that third, fourth space, maybe off stream, albeit, but they're still going to get even more practice heading into playoffs. Because for the disadvantage for the people in qualifier number 2, right, is that as soon as qualifier number 2 ends, that's exactly when the playoffs begin. But qualifier 1, people had a couple of days in between. They had their break. They had time to even get some more practicing, knowing that they are there already for the stage. They know what is going to happen, and they're going to have the leeway of actually just sitting back and chilling and watching these matches, understanding some of the strats of their opponent teams and what is to be expected playing against them in the playoffs.
And kind
Yeah.
of going
Also,
on
like,
from that, right? Oh, yeah.
yeah, please,
Yeah,
please.
that's the thing about having three people on the desk, folks. Sometimes it gets a little bit overlappish. But just
Ouch.
to add to that point, right? Of course, hey, let's not. But with that said, just the fact that, third, fourth place won't really matter to whatever team goes and plays that match, right? It is all about the playoffs. You get the seeding, you don't get the seeding. The fact that you are in the playoffs will already have been a big relief for all of these teams that are playing playoffs 1 and 2. But this is where, kind of experience and practice come into play, right? We've seen upsets happen before. We've seen newer teams take down the old names and the old guard. It is not unheard of. But the new teams have always had one thing in common. They put in the time and they put in the effort. Technically, that's two things. I know someone's typing in the chat. Stop it. But, going past all the jokes, I will certainly say that if they put in the time, I can certainly see Team RUE maybe even potentially going head to head with some of the bigger teams like Team Uwu or what have you. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Hasib Warriors might have a new rival upcoming in one of these teams in this top 4. It really just depends on that. Though I will say, as we kind of prepare to have one of the members of Team KUIS here, KUIS Esports. I'll bounce it back to you guys here because I don't think I'm supposed to be here for that. Kind of closing thoughts on map number 2 and kind of this match as a whole.
I think as
Um,
a whole, this match was pretty well played from the side of RUE. Bullet definitely has seen quite a few players
yeah.
coming in over here. Bullet, what do you think that maybe KUIS can work on to improve against in this kind of a matchup?
For the side of QS, the entire defensive was not exactly in the well placed scenario in the first half of this one as well, in terms of the second one as well. But for the for the other side is when they were trying to attack be on the attacking side, they were kind of like a little bit better on what were they able to do on their defensive side. But overall, when it comes on the map of layer, their defensive play should be a little bit more creative, despite the fact that yes, you were definitely going in for those trap meta and whatnot. But in terms of also just making sure that you have always have kind of like two or the three guys who can just like Blackjack pointed out in round number 3 or number 4, there were two guys who was just like trying to make it the flank play. One guy was playing a scopos and one guy was just another operator in the game. They were trying to make the flank play, and that is when the QS were able to get that one round victory in their side. They just kind of like find those creative ways every time around on how they can turn things around in their own favor. Just be a little bit more creative. Just your overall presence of mind inside the game, inside those very tactical and very cheeky scenarios should be on point. Especially the communication play was something like, of course, in game number 1 when I was watching from sidelines. Don't get me wrong, in their attacking play, their defense and overall entire map looked like they were not communicating at all, especially after the round 4 clutch happened from other side. So overall, yes, communication can be a little bit more smooth and worked upon from their team, but overall it is what it is. They still have the chance to make up their own game. But for now, folks, we have kind of like got the information that Cozy was joining in. But from the side of QS, it will be the one and only one of the popular faces that I know, Insanity, will be joining in for the post match interview. Okay.
Well, actually, correction to that. It's going to be Cozy. Looks like might be having a little bit of trouble getting them on the production software. It tends to happen, They are players after all. Their main experience is in the game, not with stuff like this. That's where we come in, right? That's where the producers come in. We need to know this stuff so that all of you at home. Actually, my camera's over here. I keep pointing this way because my old camera with the setup used to be over there, but right now I have it over here. So I keep like instinctively pointing over there instead. It's driving me nuts. But jokes aside, that's kind of the thing, right? Viewers at home, of course, don't have to worry about any of this. But every now and again, we like to get technical on South Asian seed streams because viewers deserve to know what's going on. Why are certain things delayed, or why are certain things the way they are? When you've casted this region for like 5 years, exactly. When you've casted this region for 5 years, you kind of pick up on certain habits, and they don't really go away. I'll tell you that much. Am I saying that I am that annoying friend who explains everything in real life? No, I'm not. But I've certainly had moments like that. But with that said, that interview segment is certainly going to be very, very interesting indeed. But that's the other thing about this interview specifically, and these interviews we've done in the playoffs so far, because they've been with the losing teams, right? Mostly, especially during the semifinals. During the finals itself, we have, of course, had a member from the winning team as well to kind of get their thoughts on winning and whatever have you, the standard stuff you do when you ask about finals. But all things considered, here and now with KUIS, I would actually like to know, once we get everything in, I would like to know what is the kind of thought process, because they will still need to play for third place, and then they will need to kind of reset, right? They've got a couple weeks before the actual playoffs start, and that is going to be the big thing. What is their plan going forward? What is their mentality, and what lessons have they taken away from this match against RUE today?
You say a couple of weeks. The playoffs are from the 6th. The playoffs are from the 6th, right? So they don't have much time for themselves. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's the kind of disadvantage that qualifier 2 people have, that compared to qualifier 1s. They had the entire break going on. They got to enjoy. They had more time to prepare. They could see the teams coming up. They're going to watch these matches as well. They had that preparation, and there definitely is going to be a slight burnout from the people who will be playing qualifier 2, because even Sunday's main event is going to be a best of 5. There's always a hectic amount of matches to play a siege, especially if it goes, the complete distance. There's a lot of rounds you have to play. There's a lot of strats that you actually end up having to reveal on certain maps that the other teams can take advantage of later on. That's why it's better in these kind of situations to close out maps as fast as possible, keep as much of your intel to yourself, and prevent others from leaking to other teams. But as it says, KUIS does definitely have to work on chemistry, like Bull is saying. They do have to work on kind of the setups they're going for, and RUE is looking pretty dominant. And yeah, like I said, might even be rivals for some of the bigger teams right now, compared to the teams that have qualified through Qualifier 1, the teams that have had that waiting time, the teams that have usually shown that dominance in these kind of competitions.
Yeah, according to that, I mean, of course, now you have the replay feature coming in for the custom games as well. So definitely just make sure that you are going through and through it. You can just watch the entire game from all possible angles that you watch. You can just watch every other's perspective. Just, find out those cues, find out those gaps, fill them, just like acting like liquid state. But also, talking about the side of RU, I feel like they are also that kind of like a newer team that we have seen in our region. Correct me if Blackjack. I don't remember these faces coming in back in the 2020, 2021 season, even the 2019 that we were casting so much alongside. I definitely don't see for the fact that they are some of the very, very veteran faces. So I can also say for a fact that it's great to see the fresh faces, the newer faces kind of like coming in and kind of like going in up against some of the veteran players and showing them that they still have a lot of that kind of like the homework that they need to do, because the game's meta has definitely changed a lot year after year and after year, especially between the side of 2021 and 2023. So many operators have been introduced a game which has completely shifted the entire meta of the game. But for now, folks, before we keep the discussion, before we get into the interview, let's take a look at the brackets. Of course, we did have KUIS Esports going up against SmackDown. Then after that, KUIS Esports went up against RU today in this on broadcast matchup. We did have RU picking up the entire thing in the 2-0 fashion. Then you have on the other side, which is of course the other games that we saw, Andromeda going up against side of Deadeye, which is of course going to happen on September 13th, from what it looks like. Exactly.
No.
Before
I think that might be a mistake, right? Coming into it because of the dates.
Yeah, so
we might have a bit of hiccups here.
I know it. You know it. I know it. You know it. We just know it. So I was just like going up with it, but you get the deal, folks. We did saw the brackets, how it's gonna get played around before we get on towards the playoffs. But again, huge. I would say the appreciation goes to the side of Ubisoft and Fragnation team to kind of like introduce in this entire fresh, I would say, competitive state of Siege. Back in our region. So huge thanks goes to again Ubisoft and Fragnation for doing this kind of initiative. Again, folks, a huge thanks to go to all of the viewers and players taking their time out and making this tournament a successful one.
Yeah, this is definitely shout out to them because they have done a lot of things behind the scenes. It's not hard. It's very hard, guys, for an admin to do a lot behind for us. There's so much data that you come in, especially after times you see how much data they're providing. Even if there's any rehost, it goes out with a glitch. But yeah, there's a lot behind the scenes that you guys usually don't get to see, that they are working very hard. So shout out to the team as well, the admin teams, the production teams, for what they're doing, even though they are kind of delaying our interview over here. But I think that's more because of the players are not ready about who's going to be coming in, because one time we had Cozy, then we had Insanity, now I think it's back to Cozy. I think they're behind the scenes are having a bit of problems, so it won't be much longer, guys, before we do get that interview. The more reason why we are doing the losers interview today is because eventually we will be doing whoever wins on Sunday, right? Because Sunday we will do whoever loses and wins on Sunday. So basically just getting an interview from the top 4 teams of Qualifier 2 of the team will be moving over to the playoffs. So this is the kind of format that's going to be coming in, and it'll be fresh in their minds about kind of loss that has happened, what kind of they want to make up on it, how they want to come in. Like I said, KUIS Esports not something that we have seen that much of, so hopefully we get to see better and bigger things from them in the future. And this is the kind of newer teams that, with the help of Fragnation, with the help of Ubisoft, we're bringing into the competition, fresh blood being injected into the scene about how you want to play. And like he said, newer teams show more dedications as well.
But for now, folks, we will just Mandus will give you the sign off. Thank you so much for joining in here at the desk. And of course, we'll see you in the next one. But before we wrap up the entire thing, folks, we still have the interview up and waiting. We're just making sure all of the technical difficulties and all of the technical challenges are being taken care of. And that's how that it is going to take a little bit of that more time. And then, of course, for now, Blackjack will become Madness for the moment.
we have fused. Perform the fusion dance off stream. Don't worry, folks. We'll get that fixed in just a minute. But yes, of course, the next thing that will happen very, very shortly is the interview section that we have been kind of hyping up for a while now, haven't we? But again, like we said before, it just is just one of those things. There's probably some technical difficulties, glitches, and whatnot to deal with because it's production software. And those who have worked production before, you will know how finicky this software tends to be. If you stream, you know how finicky this software tends to be. It is never easy when it comes to production, folks. Trust me. Us here at the casting desk, we just provide a face to what you're seeing all around. Because of course, neither me or Bullet sat down and made the graph that's scrolling by behind us, or the logo, which of course was provided by Ubisoft. So all things considered, the fact that we have so much to look at is a marvel of collaboration and effort from many different places and many different people across many different time zones. So, just the idea of sitting here and being able to commentate over an online video game already, just think about how far we've come from the days of sportscasting, right? When sportscasting used to be the main thing, and whenever we would do Rainbow Six back in 2020, I'd have to explain to my whenever my relatives would ask, "Oh, what do you do?" I was like, "Oh, I commentate over esports," and they'd be like, "What?" They still ask the same thing, but it's gotten better. More people know about esports than ever before. More people know about Rainbow Six esports than ever before. And that climb will continue to happen. That growth will continue to happen because of the efforts put in, not just by Ubisoft, not just by, all the TOs out there, but by the people who care about this game, by casters like me, Bullet, and Madness, and Baba Gusta. Of course, Baba Gusta is in a different place right now. He's doing his own thing. Life is lifing for him, for those who might be curious. But that's the point, right? We as casters, we care about this game. We try to do what we can to make these streams as fun for all of you. Like, yeah, sure, I make the odd bad joke here or there, or some of us might get a flub or something. Half the time it's because we want to see the viewers react. We want to see people in chat pop off. And that is why, certain casters cast the way they do. It's all down to our individual styles. But then, of course, you have the production people, the broadcasters who sit there listening to us talk nonstop, day in, day out. Like, you think we're annoying on stream? Try having to listen to us on your production software for the extra bits, the breaks, the rehosts, and all of that, where the folks at home aren't listening to us, but the production people, they listen to you and they know what you're saying. It's like the sound team on a film set. The sound team is always listening, folks. The production people are always listening. And of course, you have the admins who are constantly delegating with the players, doing whatever they can to, figure out, to iron out problems, to have people show up on time, to get the map bans done, to get that data sent over to the people making the graphics, to the people making the designs. And those then send over the files to the production people, and softwares are set up. And it is certainly quite the interesting whole production setup. With that said, of course, if you're wondering why I got discombobulated right there, we finally got confirmation of the interview happening. It is going to be with Cozy from the side of KUIS Esports, and let's get into it. Cozy, my friend, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the South Asia Elite Community Series. And just off the top of my head, first things first, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Is it just
Hello?
me, or you cannot hear my friend over here who has just joined up? And yeah, just to let you know, Cozy, we are not able to get your audio right. Can you please go ahead for
Hello,
once?
hello.
There
Yes,
we
sir.
go.
You are loud and clear. Yes, sir. So
Alright.
yeah, first of all,
I'm doing very
Cozy,
good. How are you
what
guys
were
doing?
your- Absolutely fine. I definitely kind of love your first map play happening in the start of Clubhouse. Larry, yes, I was expecting a little bit more, like I said on the test as well. But what exactly the entire team thoughts when Clubhouse went on your side?
Honestly, we were making a few mistakes, but we saw that we regained our composure and we started playing well, but it was too late. Team RUE is a pretty hard team to deal with, and they took the win. But overall, I think we're all pretty happy with how we played.
That's fantastic to hear. You know, kind of talking about the map-based performances. Map number 2, you were an absolute menace on that RUE on second floor. Just from that balcony door entry, they could not get in. I like the way you kind of presented yourself in map 2 because you were highest on entry as well, 4-3. For the entry frag. So all things considered, you know, well played despite the circumstances, right? Despite the results. So kind of given the fact that you've had this loss, you're gonna have to play for third place in a couple of days. What's the team's mentality looking forward all the way into playoffs that are very soon actually?
I think we all agree that we have a lot to work on as a team, but I think we like our matchup. Like I don't think there's any changes that need to be made. Like we love our whole team. There's a lot we need to work on, and that's what we will be doing. And hopefully, you guys will see a better performance in the playoffs.
Mhm. And when you like talk about the playoffs, and I just also wanted to know what is your like kind of like the game plan for your entire team looking in for the playoffs, and just if your team kind of like makes it the qualifies for the APAC Cup Asia qualifier, what do you think about the difference or kind of like the impact it will bring in your kind of like overall life as well, or do you think what kind of like impact it would can bring in the overall scene of South Asia Siege as well?
I think it would be very big for like our team to make it to the APAC APAC player, like to qualify for APAC, right? Because we're a team from Maldives and no other team from here has ever done it before. So it would be nice to see. And like you said, we've like it's another level. Like APAC and Ubisoft, like in Rainbow Six Siege, is another level of gameplay. It's something we need to get ready on.
Yeah, that's kind of the like far off end goal that's not really that far off anymore, right? Because of course playoffs start
Mhm.
from the 6th, which is just a few days away. So I'm sure that the team is hard at work cooking up new strats and figuring out certain maps with the way that you guys like to play. And yeah, to that end, given the way that this tournament has panned out so far, what would you say would be kind of the biggest factor that may or may not be holding you guys back in certain circumstances?
I'd say that like overall, like Fragnation has been a very good tournament organizer. Like we have no complaints, right? But when it comes to like stuff that holds us back would be like compared to other teams, I guess we have less free time and like we have a limited amount of players,
Yeah.
right? Most of us like we work and stuff. We don't really get much time for practice, but I don't know. I think we can do something this time.
Yeah, and any kind of like feedback again, looking ahead, what do you think? What can be improved in the overall, how the tournament is being handled, and what do you think about the overall kind of like the tournament structure being laid out from the side of Ubisoft and Fragnation?
I think so far, like this isn't the first Fragnation tournament that we've participated in. I think you guys are doing a really good job. There's no complaints like that, but I would say when it comes to her spectating for anything weird being done, like you know how Moss is in play, right? I would say personally there should be more steps taken. Not just in the current tournament, but in general when it comes to competitive play. I think Moss just isn't enough.
Okay, for
Well,
sure.
that's
Will
certainly,
again?
yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead, Lakshya.
No, I was saying the same thing you were saying, is that there's certainly always ways to moderate better, right, going forward, and I'm pretty sure something will come up eventually, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to have the fairest, best possible scenario to play in and play with your friends, right? At the end of the day, it's all about having that fun. But with that said, Cozy, thank you for joining us for this interview segment. We're gonna let you go here and get back to the team and do whatever it is that you need to do. Relax, take some time off. Of course, you guys mentioned you work as well, so it is the weekend coming up. So make
Yeah.
sure to thoroughly rest and enjoy it. And yeah, we're gonna let you go from here.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Cozy, for joining into this segment. Really appreciate your entire team to again, as we have, progressed through Blackjack. Back in the day when we kind of like started CJ in a very different state of life, same it goes kind of like the players as well. Players are now working, they have their own lives. Some of them have actually married and have babies now. So, they have their own, lives to attend. So it's really good to see. It's kind of like, I'm really glad to see how kind of like the evolution of South Asia Siege has kind of like went in ahead.
Absolutely. Life goes on. Or as I said in the case of Baba Gusta earlier today, life does indeed like to life. But with that said, folks, I believe we are done here for today. Yes, we are. We've gotten everything taken care of, and we will be signing off here for the night. But of course, don't worry, because there's more Rainbow Six Siege action coming to you from the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege X here at Fragnation in partnership with Ubisoft. I've been your host, Blackjack, and of course, alongside with Bullet and Madness, who, of course, had to drop out early. And tomorrow we'll be coming back with Andromeda Gaming AMG versus Deadeye Esports. Deadeye, of course, a name that I think some people will be a little bit more familiar with. They've had the runaround of the circuit in South Asia for the last couple of months, and I've had the chance to cast them before. So I'm excited to see what they have against Andromeda Gaming tomorrow. But until then, we're going to be signing off here. Stay tuned, and good night.
You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.